eventually been taken to Dibrugarh in Assam.
Amritpal Singh's swanky Mercedes, swords, live cartridges, rifles, you name it, all these arms and ammunition has been taken in, being seized from Jalandhar by cops. As a result of this massive arms haul, Amritpal has now also been booked under the Arms Act. He's facing 7 criminal charges, including the charge of attempt to murder and attacking cops.
अमृतपाल सिंह अभी फरार है, पुलिस को वांटेड है। पूरी हमारी टीम्स जो हैं वो एफर्ट्स कर रही हैं उसको अरेस्ट करने की। अब तक 114 लोग हैं जिनके खिलाफ जिनको कस्टडी में लिया गया है, जिसमें 78 लोग पहले दिन, 34 दूसरे दिन और 2 लोग जो हैं तीसरे दिन कस्टडी में लिए गए हैं। इन सब पे एलिगेशन है डिस्टर्बिंग पीस इन स्टेट, दे हैव बीन टेकन इनटू कस्टडी।
Trouble is mounting for this rabble-rouser. An old video is now going viral of Amritpal and instigating masses here in India during the farmer protest.
ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਦੀ ਬੋਲੀ ਤੇ ਯਕੀਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ, ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਵਰਬਲ ਟਾਕ ਤੇ ਯਕੀਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ, ਲਿਖ ਕੇ ਵੀ ਯਕੀਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ, ਇਹਨੂੰ ਕਾਨੂੰਨ ਦਾ ਰੂਪ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਜਾਵੇ। ਜੇ ਫਰਜ਼ ਕਰੋ ਮੋਦੀ ਕਹੇ ਵੀ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕਾਨੂੰਨ ਕੈਂਸਲ ਕੀਤੇ, ਜਾਓ ਕਾਨੂੰਨ 'ਚ ਵੀ ਲਿਖ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਜੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤਾ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਘਰ ਜਾਓ 2 ਮਹੀਨੇ ਟੱਪਣ ਮੋਦੀ ਫਿਰ ਕਾਨੂੰਨ ਲਾਗੂ ਕਰ ਦੇ।
Meanwhile, the Bhagwat Mann government in Punjab is under massive political pressure as the opposition is mounting their attack on the AAP, accusing them of being soft on Khalistani elements.
पंजाब में आग लगा के अपनी सियासत मत पकाइए। आज जो कुछ हो रहा है, मैं सबसे पहले केजरीवाल से पूछना चाहती हूँ, आम आदमी से पूछना चाहती हूँ कि ये एक्शन 1 महीने पहले क्यों नहीं लिया गया जब अजनाले के पुलिस स्टेशन के ऊपर कब्जा हुआ। 1 महीने तक भगवंत मान बताए उसको किसने रोक के रखा।
जो अक्सर ये बात कहा करते थे कि आम आदमी पार्टी की सरकार जो है उसके पास लॉ एंड ऑर्डर हैंडल करने का तजुर्बा नहीं है, भगवंत मान साहब के एक निर्णायक एक्शन ने एक इतना स्ट्रॉन्ग मैसेज दिया है कि सब लोग आज इस बात को मान रहे हैं।
With security being beefed up along Punjab's borders and internet snapped in the state, Amritpal Singh, who repeatedly dared the cops just weeks ago, is now cornered. With Kamaljeet Sandhu, Bureau Report, India Today.
Breaking news just coming in, chilling details of how Amritpal escaped. Cops began operation to detain Amritpal Singh. Naka laid to block Amritpal, aides from escaping. Amritpal Singh travelled in a Mercedes. Convoy had 3 cars. Amritpal's Mercedes broke through the Naka. This is the exact detail that is coming in at the moment. And these are chilling details of how Amritpal even escaped, raising big questions for the Punjab police in terms of how he even escaped. Kamaljeet is now joining us for the very latest. Kamaljeet, just when the cops began the operation to detain Amritpal Singh, we were getting these chilling details in terms of how Amritpal Singh even escaped. There are questions clearly arising on the Mann government and the Punjab police on the back of this development, Kamaljeet.
Well, definitely. You know, once the operational plan was detailed, remember, he was on his way from Harike to Moga, and that is where his convoy was first tapped with a barricade. And that's when the chase really started from there. He kept changing and switching lanes. And once he went into the village, perhaps not finding a way out, he started actually driving very fast. Now, Mercedes compared to the Scorpios and Bolero cars that the police have are no match to SUVs and to Mercedes, who have very high speed gears. And this is where things have actually not really fallen into place, though they did anticipate that this kind of trouble would be there. But these are operational details, and this is an operation which is still very ongoing. They are very, very sure that they will be success if it's not coming this hour, in a couple of hours or days, or even some time from now. But clearly, there was a green signal that they were waiting for, because, you know, a lot of people said that the Ajnala police case, which happened on the 23rd of Feb, was a watershed moment, and a lot of criticism came in as to why Punjab police had not acted then, and there was obviously a reaction coming in from Punjab police that he was carrying Guru Granth Sahib. They didn't want any sort of BAB or disrespect, and that is why police showed utmost restraint. But once those orders were given, and that is why we've been told a videographer as well as a Granthi was carried along, once they started the real operation against Amritpal and his associates, they have been coordinating very, very well with the Intelligence Bureau. There was a plan in mind, and that is why Daljit Singh Khalsi was picked up from Gurgaon. There were 7 detainees. They were sent to Assam. So there has been a detailed program. Now, it not necessarily should fall in place. There were always all efforts out to arrest Amritpal, something which has not really happened. But Punjab police is not giving up. They're still on the work, and obviously they would have to take any sort of criticism, whether it's coming from the courts or otherwise from the media and other sections as well, in their stride. But they believe that they are close on heels of Amritpal, and he will soon be behind bars.
All right, Kamaljeet is bringing us those details that are coming in from Punjab at the moment. The hunt is still on now to nab Amritpal. We got you the story on the chilling manner in which Amritpal Singh escaped the cops. For the moment, the hunt is on, and once he's nabbed, there will be NSA that will be slapped on Amritpal Singh. Amritpal is also believed to be a close associate of UK-based Khalistani terrorist Avtar Singh Khanda. Khanda is a trusted lieutenant of Paramjit Singh Pamma, the leader of the band Babbar Khalsa International. You have that link right there. And Avtar Singh Khanda gives online bomb-making demos as well. Paramjit often holds the theoretical training classes for young Sikhs to radicalize them. And we're getting you details of Lakhbir S. Road also, who's an international Sikh organization chief. He's wanted in arms smuggling case, conspired to attack Netas in Delhi. Sources said that these trio, Avtar Khanda, Amritpal Singh, Lakhbir Road, Paramjit Panna, they have been aiming to destabilize Punjab by indoctrinating young Sikhs with extremist views. Khanda gives online demonstrations from Birmingham. We told you that earlier on bomb-making demos as well, and Glasgow as well, on how to make improvised explosive devices using commonly available chemicals. Amritpal Singh also has links with Lakhbir Singh Road. We got you that's the link right there. The chief of the International Sikh Youth Federation. Lakhbir Singh is wanted in India in cases of smuggling in arms and explosives, conspiracy to attack government leaders in New Delhi, and spreading hatred basically in Punjab. So here is the Amritpal ISI links explained to you. Let's also get you a top developments and the roundup on Khalistani mob rampage and the backlash against it. A group of violent Khalistanis raised slogans and assaulted participants of an event organized in Canada's Surrey. The Indian envoy was invited to the event organized by Friends of India in Canada. Images show Khalistanis heckling the participants even as the local police struggled to contain violent Khalistanis. A Canadian journalist of Indian origin who went to cover the event where Indian High Commissioner was guest was heckled by Khalistani thugs. However, Canadian cops shoved the journalist away from the event instead of providing security to him. The United States strongly condemned the attack on Indian consulate in San Francisco by Khalistani thugs and termed it absolutely unacceptable. This came a day after the protesters shouting pro-Khalistan slogans broke through security barriers to install 2 Khalistani banners inside the consulate premises. Several people belonging to Sikh community gathered outside British High Commission in Delhi on Monday to protest against pro-Khalistan separatists pulling down the Indian flag at the Indian High Commission in London. They were seen carrying tricolour and placards. Australian Senator David Shoebridge provoked a group of Khalistanis who were protesting at Australian Parliament. Shoebridge, who is infamous for his links to Pakistan, was heard slamming India and the crackdown in Punjab against Khalistani separatists like Amritpal Singh. Khalistani hate against Indians continues to surge globally. A day after Khalistani thugs went on a rampage in London and San Francisco, vandalizing Indian High Commission and consulate offices and pulling down Indian tricolour, Khalistani thugs घेरा out the Indian High Commissioner to Canada, who was attending Friends of India and Canada event in Surrey. They attacked the organizer of the event and pushed him away from the event location. The Canadian journalist who went to cover the event was also heckled by pro-Khalistani group, threatened and roughed him up. The journalist claimed that the Canadian police, instead of stopping the Khalistani thugs from heckling him to leave the protest site to avoid any harm. Breaking news coming in, chilling details of how Amritpal escaped. Cops began operation to detain Amritpal Singh. Amritpal's Mercedes broke through barricades. Naka laid to block Amritpal, aides from escaping. Amritpal travelled in a Mercedes. Convoy had 3 cars. That's the latest coming in, and the visuals of these are on your screens at the moment. Have a look at the visuals that are coming in. Big breaking story that is coming in. The details of how Amritpal escaped. The cops began the operation to detain him. Amritpal's Mercedes ended up breaking through the barricades. You can see the Mercedes car on your screens. The Naka laid to block Amritpal aides from escaping. Amritpal travelled in a Mercedes. The convoy had 3 cars. There you go, those 3 cars on your screens right there. Getting you these details on your screens at the moment of how Amritpal Singh escaped. You have the details of how he escaped and the chilling ones while at it. We've got you those visuals too, exclusive to India Today. Kamaljeet is now joining us for the latest. Kamaljeet, we're playing out exclusive visuals of how Amritpal Singh escaped. If you could walk our viewers through these developments.
You know, as I was telling you, once a green signal was given that Amritpal was on the move. This is on Saturday, and this is 18th of March, and that's around 11 o'clock is the time when he started moving towards Moga, and that is where the first interception really happened. The SSP Moga was brought in. He was told to form a barricade, and that's when they realized that there were police cars which were following them. And from there on, there was a U-turn taken, and then there was a multiple car chase, at least 50 cars. And we tell you the top officials, including CP Jalandhar, Kuldeep Chahal, the DIG, Swapna Sharma, SSP Moga, the others who really joined in. Meanwhile, they had already put in place restrictions, and there were obviously the Jalukheda village, which Amritpal Singh belongs to, Ajdala, which is a stronghold of Amritpal. You know, a multiple action point planning program was done, very, very quickly put in place, and perhaps there was a thinking that this chase is going to end in a couple of minutes. And we've been told the entire operation took place from 11 to 1. Now, it could have been successful if Amritpal was in the net. However, he managed to give a slip. And we've been told that he not only changed cars, that he changed from Mercedes to the SUV, and then thereafter he sped away on a bike. But meanwhile, his clothes have also been recovered. And there is the entire planning. And perhaps he knew that the police will eventually close in on him, and that is why there was a sort of action. And remember, even as the cars were chasing with the Mercedes, and I tell you, the speed at which the Mercedes can be no match to the Boleros or Mahindra car, or for that matter, the Scorpios that the policemen have. But these cars managed to actually close in, and they also actually knocked down the back part of the Mercedes in a bid to really stop it and slow it down. But meanwhile, he sped away, not only increasing speed, but also knocking down 5 to 6 motorcyclists. And this is where the police had to be much more careful, because they cannot have a collateral damage. The other instruction given to the police was that no firing was to be done. That was very clear right from the beginning, that this man had to be caught alive, that he had to be taken into prison. But this is where things actually did not go in favor. They could actually split the convoy, because a part of the group went to one side in Mehedpur. Amritpal and the other group could perhaps go to Shahkot, and that is where they actually lost him somewhere in between that is where it really went wrong.
What do the cops and the investigative agencies reckon at the moment where Amritpal could be? Because clearly he has escaped the clutches of the Punjab police, and that's for all to see on our screens.
You know, now a lot of claims have been made that he actually trained with the ISI in Georgia, that there were financial trail with him, direct lead up to Pakistan, that he's in touch with brother of Lakhbir Singh Rode. So a whole lot of conjectures have been made, but remember, at this point of time, there has to be certain evidence which has to be brought. And what we know is that in all likelihood, he is in Punjab, even though there are contrary reports coming in that he may have fled Punjab or even the country. But Punjab police seems rather very confident that he may be just hiding in some place, maybe at somebody's house or a Gurudwara. And that is why a swoop down operation has been carried out, not just in Jalandhar, but in neighboring districts. For instance, we know that yesterday there was an operation carried out in Hoshiarpur. So they are actually formed a crack team. They're trying to be not very open about it, but the operation is still very much ongoing. But they do understand that they do not really want to antagonize people who want to use mobile phones. There's a lot of misinformation being spread, a lot of fake videos, and that is why appeal has gone from Punjab police to the people to not really rely on that sort of information. Only verified information should be put in place, that all the accounts...
That's what the Punjab police also has been reiterating, that only verified information needs to be put in place as far as Amritpal Singh is concerned. Kamaljeet, continue to be with us. I just want to tell our viewers, the visuals that you see of Amritpal escaping are first up on India Today. They are exclusive to India Today. We're slipping into a break, but we will continue bringing you these updates in moments from now. Stay with us.
You are watching India Today.
ये है शुरुआत तेरी, अब हर जुबान पे होगी बात तेरी। देखिए पहला टाटा वुमेन्स प्रीमियर लीग 4 मार्च से जियो सिनेमा पर बिल्कुल फ्री।
स्मार्ट टेक्नोलॉजी, HD क्वालिटी। कैसा लग रहा है बाबा?
बहुत महंगा लग रहा है।
सुब्बू।
व्हाट सुब्बू? कभी टीवी, कभी जूते, कभी परफ्यूम। फ्यूचर के बारे में क्यों सोचना है?
सोचा है पापा, आप लोगों के लिए भी। स्कूटर प्रोटेक्ट इंडिया 112 रुपए महीने में 5 लाख का लाइफ कवर, और जब मर्जी 25 लाख तक का कवर ऐड ऑन करो। सोच के लिए है।
Kotak Protect India, a smart insurance plan for a smart generation.
You said at one of our conclaves, and it stuck with me, कुछ बनने का नहीं, कुछ करने का सोचो. Since you're a great believer of technology, Prime Minister, I thought you would enjoy meeting our newest anchor, Sana. She is our first AI anchor, and I'd very much like you to meet her. Sana, come say hello.
माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी, हम आभारी हैं कि आप हमारे बीच आए। मेरी ऑन द जॉब लर्निंग अब शुरू हो गई है और 2024 तक मैं देश की सबसे अच्छी जर्नलिस्ट होने की कोशिश करूंगी। उम्मीद करती हूं कि तब आपसे एक एक्सक्लूसिव इंटरव्यू करने का मौका मिलेगा। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
Thank you, Sana. I'm sorry, Prime Minister, she's very ambitious. I'm sure, PM, you already have a few AI spokespersons in the making, ready for me. And I will be welcoming them in the Aaj Tak AI newsroom.
हर माता पिता अपने बच्चे के उज्जवल भविष्य का सपना देखते हैं। अपने बच्चे के बेहतर भविष्य के लिए उनकी यही कोशिश रहती है कि उनके बच्चे देश के सबसे शानदार स्कूलों में पढ़ाई करें, जहां उन्हें बेहतरीन सुविधाएं और शिक्षा का स्तर मिले। अक्सर इस सपने को साकार करने के लिए माता पिता को निजी स्कूलों का भारी भरकम खर्च उठाना पड़ता है और अपने बच्चे के भविष्य के लिए अपनी मेहनत की कमाई का बड़ा हिस्सा लगाना पड़ता है। लेकिन पंजाब में ऐसा नहीं होगा, क्योंकि मुख्यमंत्री भगवंत मान के नेतृत्व में पंजाब सरकार 23 जिलों में 117 विश्व स्तरीय स्कूल ऑफ एमिनेंस बनाने जा रही है, जहां न सिर्फ शिक्षा उच्च स्तर की दी जाएगी, बल्कि बच्चों के ओवरऑल पर्सनालिटी डेवलपमेंट के लिए खेल, वोकेशनल स्टडीज, आर्ट एंड क्राफ्ट, म्यूजिक से लेकर योगा तक हर सुविधाएं दी जाएंगी, जिससे पंजाब का हर बच्चा आने वाले समय के लिए बेहतर तरीके से तैयार हो सके और अपने माता पिता का सपना साकार कर सके। स्कूल ऑफ एमिनेंस में 5 प्रोफेशनल कोर्सेज पर विशेष ध्यान दिया जाएगा। इन कोर्सेज में इंजीनियरिंग, मेडिकल, लॉ, कॉमर्स, यूपीएससी, एनडीए की परीक्षा की तैयारी 9वीं कक्षा से ही करवाना शुरू किया जाएगा। स्कूल ऑफ एमिनेंस से निकलने वाले बच्चे न सिर्फ पंजाब बल्कि पूरे देश का नाम रोशन करेंगे।
100% happiness with SBI Home Loans. Zero processing fee at 8.50% onwards. Apply today. Call 1800112018. Visit homeloans.sbi.
हिमालय की गोद से लेकर केरला के बैकवाटर्स तक हमारे फैमिली ने इतना घुमा के
हम और घूमना चाहते हैं।
थैंक्स टू माय क्लब महिंद्रा मेंबरशिप, जो मुझे देता है 80 से भी ज्यादा रिसोर्ट्स और 2000 से भी ज्यादा एक्सपीरियंसेस का मजा। क्यों है ना क्लब महिंद्रा मेंबरशिप फैमिली के लिए एक मस्त चॉइस।
क्लब महिंद्रा, वी कवर इंडिया, यू डिस्कवर इंडिया।
बाबूजी, पता है बिस्लेरी ने 114 क्वालिटी टेस्ट पास किए हैं।
अच्छा, और तूने कितने पास किए हैं?
समझदार बिस्लेरी पीते हैं।
दर्पण है जन सेवा का, परचम सबके सम्मान का। हर घर हो खुशहाली ऐसा बजट है राजस्थान का। जन सेवा और सबके सम्मान की भावना साकार करता है राजस्थान बजट 2023-2024। खुशियों के इस बजट में मुख्यमंत्री श्री अशोक गहलोत ने रखा हर वर्ग का पूरा ख्याल और जो कहा वो किया।
मेरा परिवार हुआ चिंता मुक्त, क्योंकि अब मिलेगा 25 लाख रुपए का निशुल्क चिरंजीवी स्वास्थ्य बीमा और साथ में 10 लाख रुपए का दुर्घटना बीमा।
हमारे परिवार की तरह 1 करोड़ फूड सिक्योरिटी एक्ट परिवारों को अन्नपूर्णा राशन किट, जिसमें तेल, मसाले, दाल, चीनी, नमक फ्री।
और गाँव में भी इंदिरा रसोई।
अब 76 लाख परिवारों को सिर्फ 500 रुपए में गैस सिलेंडर।
हर घरेलू उपभोक्ता को 100 यूनिट बिजली फ्री। किसानों को हर महीने 2000 यूनिट बिजली फ्री। अब कम से कम पेंशन 1000 रुपए प्रति माह। लंपी महामारी से दुधारू गाय मरने पर 40,000 रुपए कॉम्पनसेशन। हर परिवार में 2 दुधारू पशुओं को 40,000 रुपए का बीमा। इंटरनेट कंपनियों के गिग वर्कर्स को शोषण से बचाने के लिए गिग वर्कर्स वेलफेयर बोर्ड। सभी सरकारी कर्मचारियों को ओल्ड पेंशन स्कीम।
अब 1000 नए महात्मा गांधी राजकीय इंग्लिश मीडियम स्कूल और खुलेंगे।
हमें खुशी है क्योंकि इस साल होंगी 1 लाख सरकारी पदों पर नई भर्तियां।
कोरोना से अनाथ हुए बच्चों को बड़ा होने पर सरकारी नौकरी। ऐसे ही अनेक फैसलों से मिली है सबको राहत और खुले बचत के द्वार। राजस्थान बजट है लाया खुशियों के उपहार।
What? बैंक के इतने सारे चार्जेस? Stop teasing me, नानू।
अरे यार, ये मेरे सेविंग्स अकाउंट के सर्विस चार्जेस हैं। ज़ीरो
चार्जेस?
क्योंकि मेरा बैंक भी मेरी तरह, सॉरी तुम्हारी तरह है, यंग एंड फ्रेंडली।
आपकी तरह?
क्या कर रही हो? नो, तुम्हारी तरह यंग एंड फ्रेंडली।
You are watching India Today.
Breaking news coming in. CBI downplays Choksi red relief notice. CBI says Interpol misled by Choksi. We have appealed. No impact on Choksi extradition process. Choksi Interpol stunt is not going to help him. And Interpol red notice purpose has been served. Munish Pandey breaking the story is now joining us. Munish, this is coming on the back of the fact that he was taken off the Interpol's list on the basis of his plea to his agency, and correct me if I'm wrong. And after that has happened, CBI seems to be downplaying this. Does this have any impact on his extradition, really, or not?
Well, Chati, as far as the statement by the Central Bureau of Investigation is concerned, what they have said that there was a false claim made by Mehul Choksi before CCF. CCF is a Interpol's body consisting of independent lawyers, and based on the application which was made by Mehul Choksi claiming that he was abducted by the by Indian agency RANW, the Interpol CCF decided to downgrade his red corner notice. It was removed by the Interpol. Now the CBI is saying that they have already lodged a protest before the Interpol, saying that without even having a valid proof that he was abducted from Antigua, taken to Dominica, the CCF has decided to remove the red corner notice. So that matter is still pending before the Interpol. But as far as the entire controversy is concerned regarding the red corner notice, what CBI is claiming that red corner notice is issued to locate a person. In 2018, Mehul Choksi, when he fled from the country, based on the red corner notice, he was located first in US and then he moved to Antigua, and he has remained in Antigua till date. Now, as far as the RCN is concerned, the purpose of red corner notice is already served. The extradition process is something which is very important, and extradition process is still pending before the Antiguan authorities in the Antiguan court, and very soon Mehul Choksi will be extradited. CBI also saying that everything, the false representation before the Interpol's CCF was done by Mehul Choksi because he was facing an imminent threat of being extradited to India, and that is why this RCN will not have any impact as far as bringing Mehul Choksi back to India. This is what the CBI is claiming. But as far as Mehul Choksi's camp is concerned, the lawyers are saying that it is a big setback for the Indian agencies because the representation was made by Mehul Choksi before the Interpol body, and based on the evidence which was given by Mehul Choksi, the Interpol decided to remove his red corner notice. Chati.
Absolutely. Thanks, Manish, for joining us with those details right there. Mehul Choksi, fugitive diamantry, has been taken off the Interpol's list of red corner notices. Choksi has been taken off the list on the basis of his plea to the agency. Red corner notice is the highest form of alert issued by Interpol to law enforcement agencies worldwide to locate and arrest a person pending extradition. Choksi is wanted in a 13,000 crore rupees Punjab National Bank scam. Interpol red corner notice against him was issued in August 2018, 10 months after he fled to Antigua. The opposition is gunning for the centre after Choksi's red corner notice was withdrawn, saying that agencies are there only to act against opposition leaders and not against fugitives.
लीगल टीम काफ़ी टाइम से कंटेस्ट कर रही थी, और जबकि अब एंटीगुआ पुलिस ने कह दिया कि हाँ, किडनैपिंग का अटेम्प्ट जेन्युइन है। उन्होंने काफ़ी सारे जो किडनैपर्स थे उनके खिलाफ रादर आरसीएन इशू कर दिए हैं। तो इसलिए मेरे क्लाइंट का जो आरसीएन है वो इंटरपोल ने ये सारी चीज़ें देखते हुए कि उसके साथ थोड़ा सा अन्याय हुआ है, और जो है उसको एक आदमी को होमलेस तो डिक्लेयर किया नहीं जा सकता, एंटीगुआ में रह रहा है तो उसको वहाँ से भी किडनैप किया जा रहा है, ये देखते हुए, और उसकी जो है तबीयत भी ख़राब रहती है, तो इस बात को देखते हुए उन्होंने आरसीएन विड्रॉ कर दिया है इंटरपोल ने।
देखो, ये माफ़ी मांगने का तो सवाल नहीं है, बार बार वो पूछते रहेंगे, हम उसको नकारते रहेंगे, उसमें कोई माने नहीं है कि होना बोल के इशू को डाइवर्ट करने के लिए कर रहे हैं। तो पहले तो देखिए, हमारे एम्बेसी पे हमले हो रहे, उसके बारे में उनकी कोई बात नहीं है। उसके बाद जो यहाँ के बैंकों से पैसे उठा लेके जा रहे हैं, ये
मेहुल चोक्सी को इंटरपोल ने सर हटा दिया।
मेहुल चोक्सी ऐसे लोगों को प्रोटेक्शन देने वाले, देशभक्ति की बात करना, ये एक मजाक है।
देश से हजारों करोड़ रुपया लूट कर जो मस्का मार रहे हैं कैरिबियन सी के किनारे, और सब देखते हैं हम लोग कैसे मस्का मार रहे हैं, मस्ती कर रहे हैं, और विश्व गुरु के पार्टी और सरकार जब विश्व गुरु बनते जा रहे हैं तो उनको ठेंगा दिखा के हमारे मेहुल चोकसी और नीरव मोदी भी कैसे घूम रहे हैं बाजार में, उधर नीरव मोदी इधर नरेंद्र मोदी। कौन किससे ज्यादा पहलवान है ये देखने का अवसर आ चुके हैं हमें।
डाकुओं को बचाना और सन्यासी को जेल में डालना, ये बीजेपी की जो नीति है, मोदी जी की नीति है, वो स्पष्ट होती है। इंटरपोल का नोटिस मेहुल चोकसी से वापस लेना, जो इंटरनेशनल लेवल पे अपने पद का दुरुपयोग कैसा किया जाता है, नरेंद्र मोदी ने कई बार बताया है।
जनवरी 2018 में डावोस स्विट्जरलैंड में वर्ल्ड इकोनॉमिक फोरम का आयोजन होता है। उस वर्ल्ड इकोनॉमिक फोरम में भारत देश के प्रधानमंत्री आदरणीय नरेंद्र मोदी जी भी जाते हैं और उस वर्ल्ड इकोनॉमिक फोरम की बैठक में नरेंद्र मोदी जी के साथ मेहुल चोकसी की तस्वीर जारी की जाती। तमाम उद्योगपति उस तस्वीर में मौजूद थे और प्रधानमंत्री जी के साथ में मेहुल चोकसी भी खड़े थे। उसके 2 दिन बाद पंजाब नेशनल बैंक एक कंप्लेंट जारी कर हिंदुस्तान को यह बताता है, ईडी और सीबीआई को बताता है कि मेहुल चोकसी ने 13,500 करोड़ का घोटाला कर दिया, उसकी जांच हो। सीबीआई और ईडी एफआईआर दर्ज करते हैं। जब तक एफआईआर दर्ज होती है, केंद्र में बैठी सरकार शायद मेहुल चोकसी को आगाह कर देती है कि तुम्हारे खिलाफ कार्रवाई होने जा रही है, अब ये कंप्लेंट सार्वजनिक हो गई है, तुम भारत देश से फरार हो जाओ। और उसी महीने नीरव मोदी भारत देश को छोड़ के फरार हो जाता है। नीरव मोदी और मेहुल चोकसी दोनों भारत देश को छोड़ के फरार हो जाते हैं।
The country knows how he fled the country. Everybody knows it. And if the Interpol is having such a position, it shows that some big international financial political moves are there in support of this kind of people who are frauds, who are doing criminal act to the country and to the economy.
With assembly polls fast approaching, former Chief Minister Siddaramaiah remains undecided on where he is going to be contesting the polls from. Siddaramaiah supporters from Kolar staged a protest outside his residence in Bengaluru, demanding him to contest from there. Siddaramaiah announced that he would contest from Kolar earlier. However, the Congress High Command advised him to reconsider the decision after an internal survey report showed that he would face a hostile situation there. He has now left the decision up to the High Command, saying that he will abide by it fully.
Sir, a lot of your followers have come here from Kolar. All your followers have come from Kolar, sir.
They have all come demanding me to contest. See, decision is not yet taken from so far as Kolar constituency is concerned. I left it to the High Command. And anyway, I told Ramesh Kumar and Nazir and others that I will discuss with my family members and I will come out with the decision.
ಸಿದ್ದರಾಮಣ್ಣವರು ಹಿಂಗಿಟ್ಟು ಪಿರಂಗಿನ ಆ ಕಡೆ ಹೊಡಿತಾರೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ನ ಇಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮಾಧ್ಯಮದ ಮುಂದೆನೇ ಹೇಳಿದೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇದನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ದೃಷ್ಟಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹಿಂದುಗಡೆ ಹೊಡಿತಾರೆ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ವರ್ಣಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೆ ನಾನು. ಬಹುಶಃ ನನಗೆ ನನ್ನ ಮಾತು ಸತ್ಯ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ರಾಹುಲ್ ಗಾಂಧಿ ಅವರು ಹೇಳೋದು ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ನಾನು ನಂಬಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಲ್ಲ. ರಾಹುಲ್ ಗಾಂಧಿ ಅವರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಬೇಕಿದ್ರೆ ಸಿದ್ದರಾಮಣ್ಣವರು ಇಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ ನಾನು ಅಲ್ಲೇ ನಿಲ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಡೋರು. ಆ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ. ಅವ್ರಿಗೇನೋ ಮಾಹಿತಿ ಬಂದಿರಬೇಕು. ಒಳ್ಳೆ ನಿರ್ಧಾರ. ಅವ್ರೇನಾದ್ರು ವರ್ಣಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಕೋನದಿಂದ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ನಿರ್ಧಾರ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡೆ.
I think there is no confusion as such. Mr. Siddaramaiah Sahib only he has given a clarification. Perhaps yesterday I was watching the press itself he has given. So there is no confusion as such. So obviously there are demands that he has to contest from Kolar also, but he is going to take a final call, and whatever High Command says he is going to abide by it. Wherever he is going to contest, he is definitely going to win. So where he has to contest, where he has to not contest, I believe High Command is going to take a call, for which he has to give clarification.
It's a wrap from me, Chetan Kumar, on this bulletin. Don't forget to log on to indiatoday.in or download our India Today app. See you in just moments from now with the top headlines. Don't go anywhere.
are watching India Today.
Hello, Kia. Open the sunroof, please. Sunroof opening. Zoom, zoom, vroom, vroom. Zoom, zoom, wee.
Open sunroof.
Zoom, zoom, vroom, vroom. And a wee.
Designed so unique, everyone is inspired. Kia, movement that inspires.
मिलेगा फेम जब सही होगा गेम. नेशनल पोकर सीरीज अब इंडिया खेलेगा ग्लोरी के लिए. रजिस्टर ऑन द पोकरबाजी ऐप.
This game may be habit forming or financially risky. Play responsibly.
सर, आप बुरा न मानो तो मैं एक बात कहना चाहता हूँ. मीडिया आपकी सरकार से बड़ी परेशान है. आपकी सरकार से कोई जानकारी लीक नहीं होती जैसे पहले सरकारों से होती थी. किसी को पता नहीं होता कि कौन आपका प्रेसिडेंशियल कैंडिडेट बनेगा. रीशफल का तो भूल ही जाओ. और राज्य में कौन बनेगा मुख्यमंत्री जब मौका आता है कोई खबर नहीं. विश्वासी माफ, मैं ये भी सोचा शायद आपका इसका जवाब क्या देंगे. मैं बोलूं, आप बोलेंगे अरुण भाई मैं आपकी दुकान क्यों चलाऊं.
आज आपकी दुकान मैं ही चला लेता हूं.
Invest once and enjoy guaranteed maturity with life cover with LIC's Dhan Varsha, a single premium plan for your family's security and prosperity.
आ रहे हो ना शाम ਨੂੰ ਵੀਨਾ ਦੇ ਘਰ. ਵੀਨਾ का यहाँ लो जी ए निकल जाते फोन है. आजकल तो सब WhatsApp पे इनविटेशन देते हैं.
अरे मेरा कोई फोन साइलेंट पे कर दो यार.
मैं कर देती हूँ.
नहीं माँ, कॉल रिसीव हो जाएगा. विनीता प्लीज पुट माय फोन ऑन साइलेंट ना.
मैं कर दूं माँ जी.
उलझन है कोई खामखा या डर से हारी है.
ट्राई करिए मैम. टेक्नोलॉजी तो खेलने के लिए है. खेलते खेलते सीख जाएंगे.
रिलायंस डिजिटल आइए और टेक्नोलॉजी से अपनी दोस्ती बढ़ाइए. हम आपका इंतजार कर रहे हैं. रिलायंस डिजिटल, टेक्नोलॉजी से रिश्ता जोड़ो.
%100% happiness with SBI Home Loans. Zero processing fee at 8.50% onwards. Apply today. Call 1800112018. Visit homeloans.sbi.
One of the other areas that influenced me, again a very simple message by Dan Pink in his book called Drive. And he largely said that in today's world of high creativity and high knowledge, there are three things that motivate people. The first is autonomy. The second thing that motivates people, he said, was mastery. And the third area that motivates people is purpose. So people can become disengaged and demotivated if they don't really understand the purpose of the organization beyond making money. So encouraging them to find purpose and meaning is something that is essential for all organizations.
हर माता पिता अपने बच्चे के उज्जवल भविष्य का सपना देखते हैं.
अपने बच्चे के बेहतर भविष्य के लिए उनकी यही कोशिश रहती है कि उनके बच्चे देश के सबसे शानदार स्कूलों में पढ़ाई करें, जहां उन्हें बेहतरीन सुविधाएं और शिक्षा का स्तर मिले। अक्सर इस सपने को साकार करने के लिए माता पिता को निजी स्कूलों का भारी भरकम खर्च उठाना पड़ता है और अपने बच्चे के भविष्य के लिए अपनी मेहनत की कमाई का बड़ा हिस्सा लगाना पड़ता है। लेकिन पंजाब में ऐसा नहीं होगा, क्योंकि मुख्यमंत्री भगवंत मान के नेतृत्व में पंजाब सरकार 23 जिलों में 117 विश्व स्तरीय स्कूल ऑफ एमिनेंस बनाने जा रही है, जहां न सिर्फ शिक्षा उच्च स्तर की दी जाएगी, बल्कि बच्चों के ओवरऑल पर्सनालिटी डेवलपमेंट के लिए खेल, वोकेशनल स्टडीज, आर्ट एंड क्राफ्ट, म्यूजिक से लेकर योगा तक हर सुविधाएं दी जाएंगी, जिससे पंजाब का हर बच्चा आने वाले समय के लिए बेहतर तरीके से तैयार हो सके और अपने माता पिता का सपना साकार कर सके। स्कूल ऑफ एमिनेंस में 5 प्रोफेशनल कोर्सेज पर विशेष ध्यान दिया जाएगा। इन कोर्सेज में इंजीनियरिंग, मेडिकल, लॉ, कॉमर्स, यूपीएससी, एनडीए की परीक्षा की तैयारी 9वीं कक्षा से ही करवाना शुरू किया जाएगा। स्कूल ऑफ एमिनेंस से निकलने वाले बच्चे न सिर्फ पंजाब बल्कि पूरे देश का नाम रोशन करेंगे।
Don't let water go down the drain. Make it circulate again. Embrace the circular economy for a sustainable water domain to reuse and regenerate this precious resource. This World Water Day, be the change you want to see in the world. Join the fight for a sustainable future and help ensure that everyone has access to clean, safe water. Ion Exchange India presents Drops of Change at these times only on India Today Television.
You are watching India Today.
Very good evening and thanks for being with us on India Today. I'm Chetan Kumar getting you all the top stories. Let's start with the headlines first. NIA intensifies probe on missing Amritpal, submits a list of 458 people to NIA who were working with Amritpal, forms 8 teams to probe foreign funding and ISI links. Khalistanis thugs on a rampage in Canada, Gherao's Indian High Commissioner at an event in Surrey, attacks the organizer of pro-India event. After Rahul alleges every institution compromised, BJP compares Rahul to Mir Jafar, calls him a traitor.
बिना माफी मांगे निकल जाएंगे। माफी तो उन्हें मांगना ही पड़ेगा। हम मंगवा के ही रहेंगे।
Aam Aadmi Party attacks Modi government over Mehul Choksi, takes Choksi's BJP's dost attack on Modi, accuses CBI of being lackadaisical on Choksi, hard on the opposition netas.
क्योंकि भारत सरकार ने मेहुल चोक्सी के खिलाफ एक मजबूत केस इंटरपोल को नहीं सौंपा, उसके चलते इंटरपोल ने रेड कॉर्नर नोटिस जो मेहुल चोक्सी के खिलाफ जारी किया गया था उसे रद्द कर दिया।
Centre gives nod to Delhi's annual budget after Kejriwal writes a letter to Prime Minister against stalling of the budget. The ongoing deadlock in Parliament continues. Both houses adjourned after opposition raised slogans demanding a JPC and stormed the Parliament corridor, holding posters and raising slogans against the government and Enforcement Directorate. Ahead of the session, BJP has also strengthened its attack on Congress MP Rahul Gandhi over his remarks made during the UK visit. BJP fired traitor Mir Jafar jibe at Rahul Gandhi, called him a Shehzada who is a foreigner lobbying to become a Nawab. The slugfest between BJP and opposition continues while the BJP presses on its demand for Rahul Gandhi's apology over his criticism of the Indian democracy in UK. The opposition has vowed to not be backed down on its JPC demand in connection with the Hindenburg report on Gautam Adani.
वी वांट जेपीसी के नारे के साथ यहाँ पे विपक्ष ने आज अलग तरीके से विरोध किया। विपक्ष की कोशिश है कि किसी न किसी तरह से लगातार रोज जो है इस तरह से हल्ला बोला जाए। सुर्खियां भी हंगामे की बन रही हैं और संसद में गांधी प्रतिमा से लेके संसद के परिसर के भीतर तक विरोध ही विरोध नजर आ रहा है।
ये पहली बार इस प्रकार से जाके लंदन में कह रहे हो हिंदुस्तान की डेमोक्रेसी के खिलाफ, ऐसा नहीं है। और ऐसा भी नहीं है कि राहुल गांधी बिना माफी मांगे निकल जाएंगे। माफी तो उन्हें मांगना ही पड़ेगा, हम मंगवा के ही रहेंगे।
राहुल गांधी जी अगर जब आते तक खलबली मच जाते तो वो नहीं चाहते कि राहुल गांधी जी आए। और क्षमा अगर किसी को मांगना है तो सबसे पहले प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी को मांगना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि विदेश की जमीन पे अगर हिंदुस्तान को कोई प्रधानमंत्री, ऐसा कोई प्रधानमंत्री है हिंदुस्तान में जो छोटा किया, नीच किया, अपमान किया, कलंकित किया, तो वो नरेंद्र मोदी जी है।
राहुल गांधी जी, आपने विदेश की धरती पर कहा कि भारत में लोकतंत्र खत्म हो गया है और यूरोप और अमेरिका इसमें दखल देना चाहिए। इससे शर्मनाक बात क्या हो सकती है? किसी दूसरे देश से भारत के आंतरिक मामलों में दखल देने की मांग करना भारत की संप्रभुता पर हमला है। इससे जनता को भारी आक्रोश है, जनप्रतिनिधियों में भी आक्रोश दिख रहा है। हर राष्ट्रभक्त सांसद इस समय अंदर से आहत है। राहुल गांधी, आपको देश के खिलाफ इस पाप के लिए देश की जनता से माफी मांगनी ही होगी।
One of the statements he's made is that we are facing, and I'm quoting, quote, we are facing an attack on the basic structure of Indian democracy. In the Constitution, India is defined as a union of state, and that union requires a negotiation. And then he goes on to compare the Indian Union with the European Union.
Just because the Sahjada wants to become Nawab, Sahjade को नवाब बनना है। कांग्रेस पार्टी में आज लोकतंत्र शेष नहीं है। कांग्रेस पार्टी जनता जनार्दन, हिंदुस्तान के जनता जनार्दन के आशीर्वाद से सहजादे को नवाब नहीं बना सकती है। इसलिए दूसरे देशों में जाकर सहजादे प्लीड करते हैं कि मुझे नवाब बनना है, तुम मेरी मदद करो।
Rahul Gandhi, instead of coming to Parliament and apologizing for his undemocratic rant against India, today seeks to be absent from Parliament.
देश के लोगों ने कांग्रेस को नकार दिया है, राहुल गांधी को नकार दिया है, तो इसका मतलब ये नहीं होना चाहिए कि देश को ही बदनाम करे, हमारे लोकतंत्र व्यवस्था को गाली दे, हमारे पार्लियामेंट संसद को नीचा दिखाने के लिए विदेश में जाकर के अनाप शनाप बातें करे। ये हम कभी भी मंजूर नहीं करेंगे और हम चुपचाप नहीं बैठेंगे।
देश के बारे इस तरह के विचार रखना ये दुर्भाग्य है जी। ये पार्टी जो खुद 60 साल सत्ता में रही और अब उनको भी विदेश में जाकर किसी ने ज्ञान दिया कि जब इंदिरा जी भी विदेश आई थी तब देश के बारे में कुछ नहीं कहा था, लेकिन आप उनसे ही कुछ सीख लीजिए।
पूरे संसद का, पूरे सदन का आज विपक्ष ने फिर एक बार अपमान किया है। मुझे लगता है जब कोई व्यक्ति या कोई दल के पास कोई शब्द ना हो, कोई लेग स्टैंड करने के लिए अपने विषय के ऊपर कोई ठोस बात ना हो, एक वीक विकेट पे कोई खड़ा हो, तभी इस प्रकार के हल्के कारनामे सुर्खियों में बने रहने के लिए विपक्ष आज कर रहा है।
देखो, ये माफी मांगने का तो सवाल नहीं है, बार बार वो पूछते रहेंगे, हम उसको नकारते रहेंगे, उसमें कोई माने नहीं है कि होना बोल के इशू को डाइवर्ट करने के लिए कर रहे हैं।
आज सारे विपक्षी दलों ने पार्लियामेंट के पहले माले से, फर्स्ट फ्लोर से हमने एक बड़ा बैनर लेकर पूरे देश को यह संदेश देना चाहते हैं कि किस प्रकार से सदन का दुरुपयोग बीजेपी कर रही है और सदन में जनता की आवाज, बजट पर अहम चर्चा और जेपीसी की मांग को नजरअंदाज कर रही है। ताकि प्रधानमंत्री के करीबी दोस्त अडानी जी को जेपीसी प्रोब से बचा सके।
आज दूसरे हफ्ते का 7वां दिन है और ये गूंगी बहरी सरकार सुन नहीं रही है। जिस डिक्टेटरशिप से सरकार ये देश को चलाना चाहती है, ये लोकतंत्र के लिए बहुत ही चिंता का विषय है और जब तक ये जेपीसी की मांग को पूरा नहीं करते हैं, हम
So that's the Parliament strong. The ongoing deadlock in the Parliament continues. Both houses adjourned. This is happened after opposition raised slogans demanding JPC, that is a probe, and stormed the Parliament corridor, holding posters, raising slogans as well. After that, the deadlock continued and both the houses got adjourned. Maushami is now joining us for the latest. Maushami, outside of all the Parliament storm and what the opposition says and what the ruling party says, it is the people of the country who end up suffering when not much business gets conducted in both the houses, and time and again we're seeing Parliament storms and this deadlock continuing right there.
Absolutely, Chetty, and the latest in an attempt to thaw this deadlock has come through the Speaker, Om Birla. We are told that there could be a climb down from the stands on either sides. On one hand, you have the BJP that's adamant that Rahul Gandhi has to apologize, and it has to be nothing less than an apology. And on the other side, the opposition demanding the JPC. So Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, T.R. Balu, and other opposition leaders did attend that meeting, which was supposed to be an icebreaker. And Om Birla did appeal to either sides that business should be transacted. But there are also reports that if this deadlock continues, Chetty, then there could be, the Parliament could be adjourned sine die earlier than 6th of April. So that will be really unfortunate with, as you said, the taxpayers' money lost in the pandemonium.
All right, Maushami, thanks for joining us with the latest story from the Parliament, and it is the taxpayers' money getting lost in this particular pandemonium, as Maushami rightly puts it. Now, moving on to the other story we're tracking at this hour on India Today. The CBI will be seeking reinstatement of Interpol's red notice against fugitive Mehul Choksi. This comes after Choksi's name was removed from Interpol database of red notices. The CBI said that Interpol misled and there will be no impact on his extradition process. Remember, Choksi was taken off Interpol's list on the basis of his plea to the agency. Red corner notice is the highest form of alert issued by Interpol to law enforcement agencies worldwide to locate and arrest a person pending extradition. Choksi is wanted in a 13,000 crore rupees PNB scam. Interpol red corner notice against him was issued in August 2018, 10 months after he fled to Antigua. The opposition is gunning for the centre after Choksi's red corner notice was withdrawn, saying that agencies are there to only act against opposition leaders and not against fugitives.
लीगल टीम काफ़ी टाइम से कंटेस्ट कर रही थी, और जबकि अब एंटीगुआ पुलिस ने कह दिया कि हाँ, किडनैपिंग का अटेम्प्ट जेन्युइन है। उन्होंने काफ़ी सारे जो किडनैपर्स थे उनके खिलाफ रादर आरसीएन इशू कर दिए हैं। तो इसलिए मेरे क्लाइंट का जो आरसीएन है वो इंटरपोल ने ये सारी चीज़ें देखते हुए कि उसके साथ थोड़ा सा अन्याय हुआ है और जो है उसको एक आदमी को होमलेस तो डिक्लेयर किया नहीं जा सकता, एंटीगुआ में रह रहा है तो उसको वहाँ से भी किडनैप किया जा रहा है, ये देखते हुए, और उसकी जो है तबीयत भी ख़राब रहती है, तो इस बात को देखते हुए उन्होंने आरसीएन विड्रॉ कर दिया है इंटरपोल ने।
देखो, ये माफ़ी मांगने का तो सवाल नहीं है, बार बार वो पूछते रहेंगे, हम उसको नकारते रहेंगे, उसमें कोई माने नहीं है कि होना बोल के इशू को डाइवर्ट करने के लिए कर रहे हैं। तो पहले तो देखिए, हमारे एम्बेसी पे हमले हो रहे, उसके बारे में उनकी कोई बात नहीं है। उसके बाद जो यहाँ के बैंकों से पैसे उठा लेके जा रहे हैं,
मेहुल चोक्सी को इंटरपोल ने सर हटा दिया।
मेहुल चोक्सी ऐसे लोगों को प्रोटेक्शन देने वाले देशभक्ति की बात।
Cutting straight across to Arvind Kejriwal, who's addressing a press conference. All right, he's speaking in the assembly.
सुप्रीम कोर्ट का 2018 का ऑर्डर साफ साफ कहता है, संविधान का आर्टिकल 239AA4 साफ साफ कहता है that Lieutenant Governor of Delhi or the Administrator of Delhi is bound by aid and advice of Council of Ministers. दिल्ली के लेफ्टिनेंट गवर्नर जो हैं वो केवल ठप्पा लगाएंगे 3 सब्जेक्ट्स छोड़ के, बाकी सारी चीजों पे उनको बस ठप्पा लगाना है। वो अपनी ऑब्जर्वेशन भी नहीं दे सकते, ऑब्जेक्शन भी नहीं दे सकते, वो फाइल पे कुछ नहीं लिख सकते। उनको फाइल पे लिखने का अधिकार नहीं है। अगर वो फाइल पे कुछ लिखते हैं तो वो संविधान के खिलाफ है। अगर वो फाइल पे लिखते हैं तो वो इस मंदिर का, ये जनतंत्र का जो मंदिर है, इसका अपमान है, इस पूरे हाउस का अपमान है। कुछ कहना है तो ये हाउस कहेगा। ये हाउस किस लिए बैठा है? ये जितने लोग हैं, चाहे ये बीजेपी के हैं, कांग्रेस के हैं, आम आदमी पार्टी, इनको जनता ने चुन के भेजा, फिर ये किस लिए चुने गए हैं? अगर एलजी नहीं दिल्ली चलानी थी तो? अगर केंद्र सरकार के पास बजट भेजा गया, केंद्र सरकार को उसमें आपत्ति करने का कोई अधिकार नहीं है। ये प्रोविजन ही अनकॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल, इट इज अगेंस्ट द बेसिक स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ डेमोक्रेसी एंड बेसिक स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ इंडिया कि किसी राज्य का बजट केंद्र सरकार को भेजा जा रहा है। पर चला आ रहा है कई सालों से। जिस दिन इसको सुप्रीम कोर्ट के अंदर चैलेंज किया गया, ये 2 मिनट ये प्रोविजन नहीं टिकने वाला कि केंद्र सरकार को दिल्ली सरकार का बजट भेजा जा रहा है। पर एक परंपरा चली आ रही थी, कई सालों से चली आ रही थी, हम भी उस परंपरा को फॉलो कर रहे थे। आज तक दिल्ली के इतिहास में कभी केंद्र सरकार ने कोई ऑब्जेक्शन या ऑब्जर्वेशन नहीं किया। पहली बार ये परंपरा जो है इसको तोड़ा गया। उन्होंने ऑब्जेक्शन लगा के भेजे, ऑब्जर्वेशंस लगा के भेजे, वही अपने आप में असंवैधानिक था। लेकिन हमें लड़ना नहीं है, हम लड़ना नहीं चाहते, हम यहाँ लड़ने नहीं आए, हम काम करने आए हैं। 17 तारीख को उन्होंने भेजा, चीफ सेक्रेटरी के पास भेजा, प्रिंसिपल सेक्रेटरी फाइनेंस के पास भेजा, 3 दिन वो लेके बैठे रहे। अब सारा देश जानता है कि इन अधिकारियों के गर्दन जो है वो केंद्र सरकार और एलजी के अंडर में, रोज जिसको मर्जी सस्पेंड कर देते हैं। सारे डरे बैठे हैं, सारे डरे बैठे हैं अधिकारी, वो बेचारे क्या करें। तो ऊपर से आदेश आया एमएचए से कि भाई 3 दिन तक लेके बैठे रहो। सोमवार को 20 तारीख को 21 को बजट प्रेजेंट होना था। 20 तारीख को दिन में 2 बजे मंत्री को बताया जाता है जी एमएचए से कुछ ऑब्जेक्शंस आए हैं। तो इन अधिकारियों के खिलाफ तो कार्रवाई होनी चाहिए। फाइल जो है उसके संबंध में उसके बाद बार बार फोन कर रहा है मंत्री। फाइल उसके पास शाम को 6 बजे पुटअप की गई। उसके बाद अफरा तफरी के अंदर मंत्री ने नोट बनाया, जो भी ऑब्जर्वेशन थे। हमारे पास एक ऑप्शन था, हम लड़ लेते, कोर्ट चले जाते कि तुमने ऑब्जर्वेशन कैसे लिखे, हम तुम्हारा। पर मैंने मंत्री को कहा नहीं, हमें लड़ना नहीं है। उन्होंने जो ऑब्जर्वेशन लिखे हैं, 4 ऑब्जर्वेशन थे, चारों का हमने जवाब लिखा। कोई चेंज नहीं किया बजट में, सेम बजट। ईगो थी कि हमारा जवाब दो, दे दिया भाई साहब। आपके पैर छू लिए, पैर छू लिए उनके हाथ सामने हाथ जोड़ लिए, जो मांगा उन्होंने जवाब दे दिए। आज वापस आ गया, बजट अप्रूव हो गया। अहंकारी है, क्या मिल गया? एक मिनट सर, 1 मिनट। आप ही की जिंदाबाद है सर, पूरी आप ही हो बस, तो बाकी तो हम तो ऐसे ही हैं। क्या मिला इससे? यही मिला जो ये भी कह रहे हैं जिंदाबाद। बस ये राजनीति है, अहंकार है। खुश हो गए भाई, केजरीवाल को झुका दिया। हाँ जी, हम तो हमेशा ही झुके हुए हैं। जनतंत्र में झुकना ही एक, जनता के सामने भी झुकना चाहिए, सबके सामने झुकना चाहिए। अहंकार सेटिस्फाई करने के अलावा कुछ हुआ? कुछ भी नहीं हुआ। कोई कल ये मैं देख रहा था, टीवी चैनलों में चल रहा था कि इन्होंने इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर से ज्यादा एडवर्टाइजिंग का बजट कर दिया, हमने इनको ठीक करने को बोला है। यही चल रहा था ना टीवी चैनलों में कि जी एडवर्टाइजिंग का बजट इन्होंने इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर से ज्यादा कर दिया, हमने इनको ठीक करने को बोला है। उसमें बजट के अंदर 20,000 करोड़ तो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर पे है, 500 करोड़ एडवर्टाइजिंग पे है। अब ये 520,000 से ज्यादा होता है, ये तो हमने नहीं सुना था। इन्होंने ऊपर से लेके नीचे तक अनपढ़ों की जमात बिठा रखी है। नेता को नहीं कहा, मैंने आपके नेता को नहीं कहा। आपको कैसे लगा उसको बोला है? ठीक है, अच्छा लगा। मैंने तो नाम ही नहीं लिया, मैंने तो नाम ही नहीं लिया, मैंने किसी का नाम नहीं लिया, मैंने किसी का नाम नहीं लिया, मैंने किसी का नाम नहीं लिया। मैं किसी का नाम, बैठ जाओ, मैंने किसी का, मैं तो ये कह रहा हूं जी, ये बता दो कि कहां लिखा है कि 500 की फिगर जो है वो 20,000 से ज्यादा होती है? ये तो कहीं नहीं लिखा। तो मैं कह रहा हूं भाई, जो पूरी की पूरी अनपढ़ों की जमात बिठा रखी है, पढ़े लिखे लोगों को बिठाओ वहां पे, ताकि वो कम से कम बजट पढ़ने की क्षमता तो रखते हो। पता नहीं किसको दे दिया आपने बजट। 500 करोड़ रुपए पिछली साल रखा था, 500 करोड़ रुपए इस साल रखा है। सेम है, सेम टू सेम है, कोई बढ़ाया नहीं हमने, एज इट इज बजट रखा है। कहते हैं कल से चला रखा है बजट, एडवर्टाइजिंग का बजट बढ़ा दिया, एडवर्टाइजिंग का बजट इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर से ज्यादा। कहां कर दिया? कहीं नहीं करा। आज वो सेम टू सेम बजट हमने कोई चेंज करके नहीं भेजा, जो बजट में लिखा था उसी में से 4 लाइनें कोट कर करके भेज दी। आज एलजी साहब ने भी कल रात को 10:30 बजे लिख दिया अप्रूव्ड। यार ये क्या है यार, तो पहले ही अप्रूव कर देते, क्या जरूर थी? वो कह रहे थे मेरे सामने झुको, मेरे पैर पकड़ो। आपके सामने झुका ऐसा? आप ही प्रभु हो, आप ही सब कुछ हो। मेरी आज इस मंच के, इस हाउस के माध्यम से अपील है, प्रार्थना है प्रधानमंत्री जी को कि प्रधानमंत्री जी, हम काम करना चाहते हैं, हम लड़ना नहीं चाहते। हमारी लड़ाई हमारे बस की बात नहीं है, हम बहुत छोटे लोग हैं। राजनीति में हम लड़ने के लिए नहीं आए, हमें राजनीति करनी नहीं आती। इस रोज रोज की लड़ाई से कुछ नहीं निकल रहा। जिस घर में लड़ाई होती है वो घर बर्बाद हो जाते हैं, जिस राज्य में लड़ाई होती है वो राज्य बर्बाद हो जाते हैं, जिस देश में लड़ाई होती है वो देश बर्बाद हो जाते हैं। लड़ाई से किसी का कहां भला हुआ है? कभी भला हुआ है? सबसे बना के रखनी चाहिए, सब मिलजुल के काम करेंगे, तरक्की होगी। दिल्ली ने इतना, कल आज मैं अखबारों में पढ़ रहा था, कल हमारे माननीय वित्त मंत्री जी ने इकोनॉमिक सर्वे प्रेजेंट किया, इतनी तरक्की की दिल्ली ने, देश का जो एवरेज है उससे कहीं ज्यादा आगे जाके तरक्की कर रही है दिल्ली। इतनी तरक्की कर रही है, इतनी तरक्की कर रही है। सोचो अगर ये रोज रोज के झगड़े नहीं होते तो 10 गुना तरक्की हो चुकी होती अभी तक जितनी तरक्की। हमारा डोर स्टेप डिलीवरी राशन करना चाहते थे हम, वो रोक दिया। किसका फायदा हुआ? जो राशन वाले चोरी करते थे, राशन माफिया था, उसका फायदा हुआ, जनता का फायदा तो नहीं हुआ। क्या फायदा हुआ उसका? डोर स्टेप डिलीवरी ऑफ राशन करने का, रोकने का। दिल्ली के अंदर 17,000 लोगों को डेली हम योगा कराया करते थे। डेली 17,000 लोगों को दिल्ली सरकार फ्री में योगा कराती थी। प्रधानमंत्री जी ने कह के वो योगा क्लासेस बंद करा दी। किसका फायदा हुआ जी? किसी का तो फायदा नहीं हुआ। 17,000 लोगों ने अगर योगा करना बंद कर दिया, आज भी याद करते हैं, मेरे को मिलते हैं, आज भी याद करते हैं। किसका फायदा हुआ? किसी का फायदा नहीं हुआ। हम अपने टीचर्स को, दिल्ली का शिक्षा जो व्यवस्था है उसकी तारीफ पूरे देश के अंदर हो रही है, पूरी दुनिया के अंदर हो रही है। उसका एक बहुत बड़ा कारण है हमारे टीचर्स और हमारे प्रिंसिपल्स ने चमत्कार करके दिखाया है। 60,000 टीचर्स उन्होंने चमत्कार करके, उनको हम ट्रेनिंग करने के लिए विदेश भेजते हैं, फिनलैंड भेजते हैं। आपने उनकी फिनलैंड की ट्रेनिंग रोक दी। किसका फायदा हुआ? किसी का फायदा नहीं हुआ। गरीबों के बच्चे अच्छे पढ़ना चालू हुए थे, बड़े इतने 75 साल के बाद गरीबों के बच्चों को अच्छी शिक्षा मिलनी चालू हुई थी। क्या फायदा हुआ? टीचर्स की ट्रेनिंग रोकने से किसका फायदा हो रहा है? क्यों लड़ रहे हो हमारे साथ यार? पिछले साल कई महीनों तक मोहल्ला क्लिनिक में टेस्ट की पेमेंट बंद करा दी, रेंट की पेमेंट बंद करा दी, बिजली के बिलों की पेमेंट बंद करा दी, दवाइयों की पेमेंट बंद करा दी। मोहल्ला क्लिनिक में, अस्पतालों में कितने मरीज सफर किए, कितने मरीज सफर किए। किसका फायदा हुआ? किसी का फायदा नहीं हुआ। फरिश्ते स्कीम थी, किसी का एक्सीडेंट हो जाए तो उसको हम फ्री में इलाज कराया करते थे। 13,000 से ज्यादा जान बचा चुके हैं उस स्कीम के अंदर हम लोग। उस स्कीम की पेमेंट बंद करा दी। बताओ, उस स्कीम की पेमेंट बंद करा दी। मरते हुए आदमी को अगर हम जान देने की कोशिश कर रहे थे, उसकी पेमेंट बंद करा दी। किसका फायदा हुआ प्रधानमंत्री जी? अभी जैसा हम लोग देख रहे हैं कि बजट रोक दिया, मेयर के चुनाव बंद करा दिए। मैं प्रधानमंत्री जी से कहना चाहता हूं, आप बहुत बड़े हैं, हम बहुत छोटे हैं। एक छोटी सी दिल्ली चला रहे हैं, हमें अपनी दिल्ली चलाने दो। आप बहुत बड़े हो, बहुत बड़ा काम कर रहे हो, पूरे देश के अंदर काम कर रहे हो। आप अपना काम करो ना, हमें अपना काम करने दो। उनको तकलीफ ही है कि दिल्ली में बार बार आम आदमी पार्टी क्यों जीत रही है। उनको तकलीफ ही है कि बार बार दिल्ली में बीजेपी क्यों हार रही है। मैं प्रधानमंत्री जी को कहना चाहता हूं कि अगर आप दिल्ली जीतना चाहते हो तो मैं आज आपको मंत्र देता हूं दिल्ली जीतने का। दिल्ली जीतने के लिए आपको दिल्ली के लोगों का दिल जीतना पड़ेगा। ये रोज लड़ाई झगड़े करने से दिल्ली वाले आपको वोट नहीं देने वाले। मैंने अगर दिल्ली में 1000 स्कूल ठीक कर दिए, आपके पास तो बहुत पैसा है, आप 1000 नए स्कूल बना दो, देखो लोग केजरीवाल को वोट देना बंद कर देंगे। मैंने दिल्ली में 550 मोहल्ला क्लिनिक बना दिया, आप 5,500 मोहल्ला क्लिनिक बना दो। लेकिन अगर आप केजरीवाल के 550 मोहल्ला क्लिनिक रोकने की कोशिश करोगे, अगर आप हमारे स्कूलों को रोकने की कोशिश करोगे और फिर सोचोगे मैं दिल्ली जीत लूं, इस जन्म में तो नहीं जीत पाओगे मोदी जी। हमसे लंबी लकीर खींचो, जो काम हमने किए उससे लंबी लकीर खींचो। आज इस पूरे सदन की ओर से मैं प्रधानमंत्री जी को कहना चाहता हूं, हम आपके साथ मिलकर काम करना चाहते हैं। हम आपसे लड़ना नहीं चाहते, हमारे को लड़ाई करनी नहीं आती, हमको राजनीति करनी नहीं आती। हम आपसे मिलकर काम करना चाहते हैं, आपसे सहयोग चाहते हैं। हम बहुत छोटे हैं, जैसे परिवार में होता है। दिल्ली के लोग जो हैं आपके सामने छोटे भाई की तरह हैं। लेकिन अगर कोई बड़ा भाई रोज आके छोटे भाई को 2 थप्पड़ मारेगा, रोज आके उसको डांटेगा, तो छोटा भाई भी बेचारा कब तक बर्दाश्त करेगा। तो अगर आपको छोटे भाई का दिल जीतना है तो छोटे भाई का दिल जीतना पड़ेगा। छोटे भाई का दिल जीतना है तो छोटे भाई को प्यार करो, छोटे भाई के साथ चलो, तभी छोटा भाई आपका साथ देगा। मैं इस प्रस्ताव का पूरी तरह से समर्थन करता हूं।
अब श्री संजीव झा माननीय सदस्य द्वारा प्रस्तुत संकल्प सदन के सामने है। जो इसके पक्ष में वहां कहें, जो इसके विरोध में ना कहें। हाँ पक्ष जीता।
All right, Kejriwal going on to make a scathing attack against the centre right there, calling the BJP arrogant as well, and many other things that were said by Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal right there. Now moving on with assembly polls fast approaching, former Chief Minister Siddaramaiah remains undecided on where he's going to be contesting. The polls strong. Siddaramaiah supporters from Kolar staged a protest outside his residence in Bengaluru, demanding him to contest from there. Siddaramaiah announced that he would contest from Kolar earlier. However, Congress High Command had advised him to reconsider the decision after internal survey reports showed that he would face a hostile situation there. He has now left the decision up to the High Command, saying he will abide by it fully.
Sir, a lot of your followers have come here from Kolar. All your followers have come from Kolar, sir.
They have all come demanding me to contest. See, decision is not yet taken from so far as Kolar constituency is concerned. I left it to the High Command. And anyway, I told Ramesh Kumar and Nazir and others that I will discuss with my family members and I will come out with the decision.
ಸಿದ್ದರಾಮಯ್ಯನವರು ಹಿಂಗಿಟ್ಟು ಪಿರಂಗಿನ ಆ ಕಡೆ ಹೊಡಿತಾರೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ನ ಇಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮಾಧ್ಯಮದ ಮುಂದೆನೇ ಹೇಳಿದೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇದನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ದೃಷ್ಟಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹಿಂದ್ಗಡೆ ಹೊಡಿತಾರೆ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ವರ್ಣಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೆ ನಾನು. ಬಹುಶಃ ನನಗೆ ನನ್ನ ಮಾತು ಸತ್ಯ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ರಾಹುಲ್ ಗಾಂಧಿ ಅವರು ಹೇಳೋದು ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ನಾನು ನಂಬಕ್ ಹೋಗಲ್ಲ. ರಾಹುಲ್ ಗಾಂಧಿ ಅವರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಬೇಕಿದ್ರೆ ಸಿದ್ದರಾಮಯ್ಯವರು ಇಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ ನಾನು ಅಲ್ಲೇ ನಿಲ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಡೋರು. ಆ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ. ಅವ್ರಿಗೇನೋ ಮಾಹಿತಿ ಬಂದಿರಬೇಕು, ಒಳ್ಳೆ ನಿರ್ಧಾರ. ಅವ್ರೇನಾದ್ರು ವರ್ಣಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಕೋನದಿಂದ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ನಿರ್ಧಾರ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ತಿಳ್ತೀನಿ.
I think there is no confusion as such. Mr. Siddaramaiah Sahib only he has given a clarification. Perhaps yesterday I was watching the press itself he has given. So there is no confusion as such. So obviously there are demands that he has to contest from Kolar also. But he is going to take a final call, and whatever High Command says he is going to abide by it. Wherever he is going to contest, he is definitely going to win. So where he has to contest, where he has to not contest, I believe High Command is going to take a call for which he has to give clarification.
Let's have a look at what is happening in the state of Karnataka now. Prime Minister Modi to visit Polban, Karnataka on Saturday. He is going to be attending the closing ceremony of BJP's Vijay Sankalp Yatra in Devnagar, followed by other various events in Bengaluru and other places as well. Home Minister Amit Shah and Defence Minister Rajnath Singh are expected to join the BJP events that will mark the party escalating its poll campaign in the state. Babu Rao Chinchansur, a former MLC from the BJP in Karnataka, has joined the Congress party. Chinchansur had quit the Congress in 2018 and had joined the BJP. Earlier this month, Putana, a member of the BJP, submitted his resignation and switched to the Congress party. Kannada actor Chetan Kumar has been arrested over his controversial tweet saying Hindutva was built on lies. He's been accused of hurting religious sentiments. The actor was arrested by the police in Bengaluru on Tuesday. The actor was sent to 14-day judicial custody after being produced in court. Several saffron outfits accused Chetan of targeting Hindus. Chetan earlier had been arrested in a similar case and got bail. Former Karnataka Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa and Congress leader Siddaramaiah were confronted by the protesting Congress supporters from Bengaluru's Rajaji Nagar. The protesters sought party tickets for local candidates in state polls. Time for a short commercial break. When we return, former US President Donald Trump said he expects to be arrested soon. This and more in moments from now.
Are watching India Today.
Dadu,
Yes?
what does premium mean?
Beta, premium you can say is like petrol. The car will keep going till the time it has petrol. Once petrol is over, the car stops.
But Dad, this time even if the petrol is over, our car won't stop.
How come?
With LIC's Jeevan Labh, even after the premium payment tenure is over, the policy's benefits continue.
That means our journey of happiness will continue non-stop.
LIC, हर पल आपके साथ.
हिमालय की गोद से लेकर केरला के बैकवाटर्स तक हमारे फैमिली ने इतना घुमा के हम और घूमना चाहते हैं। थैंक्स टू माय क्लब महिंद्रा मेंबरशिप जो मुझे देता है 80 से भी ज्यादा रिसोर्ट्स और 2000 से भी ज्यादा एक्सपीरियंसेस का मजा। क्यों है ना क्लब महिंद्रा मेंबरशिप फैमिली के लिए एक मस्त चॉइस। क्लब महिंद्रा, वी कवर इंडिया, यू डिस्कवर इंडिया।
ऐसा शादी वाला ग्लो हर रोज क्यों नहीं मिल सकता? बिल्कुल मिल सकता है। मामा अर्थ उपटन फेस वॉश, जिसमें है नेचुरल टर्मरिक और सैफरन की गुडनेस। ये स्किन डिटैन करे और दे शादी वाला ग्लो एवरी डे। मामा अर्थ उपटन फेस वॉश, ये नेचुरल प्रोडक्ट्स बनाते हैं और पेड़ भी उगाते हैं।
हर माता पिता अपने बच्चे के उज्जवल भविष्य का सपना देखते हैं। अपने बच्चे के बेहतर भविष्य के लिए उनकी यही कोशिश रहती है कि उनके बच्चे देश के सबसे शानदार स्कूलों में पढ़ाई करें, जहां उन्हें बेहतरीन सुविधाएं और शिक्षा का स्तर मिले। अक्सर इस सपने को साकार करने के लिए माता पिता को निजी स्कूलों का भारी भरकम खर्च उठाना पड़ता है और अपने बच्चे के भविष्य के लिए अपनी मेहनत की कमाई का बड़ा हिस्सा लगाना पड़ता है। लेकिन पंजाब में ऐसा नहीं होगा, क्योंकि मुख्यमंत्री भगवंत मान के नेतृत्व में पंजाब सरकार 23 जिलों में 117 विश्व स्तरीय स्कूल ऑफ एमिनेंस बनाने जा रही है, जहां न सिर्फ शिक्षा उच्च स्तर की दी जाएगी, बल्कि बच्चों के ओवरऑल पर्सनालिटी डेवलपमेंट के लिए खेल, वोकेशनल स्टडीज, आर्ट एंड क्राफ्ट, म्यूजिक से लेकर योगा तक हर सुविधाएं दी जाएंगी, जिससे पंजाब का हर बच्चा आने वाले समय के लिए बेहतर तरीके से तैयार हो सके और अपने माता पिता का सपना साकार कर सके। स्कूल ऑफ एमिनेंस में 5 प्रोफेशनल कोर्सेज पर विशेष ध्यान दिया जाएगा। इन कोर्सेज में इंजीनियरिंग, मेडिकल, लॉ, कॉमर्स, यूपीएससी, एनडीए की परीक्षा की तैयारी 9वीं कक्षा से ही करवाना शुरू किया जाएगा। स्कूल ऑफ एमिनेंस से निकलने वाले बच्चे न सिर्फ पंजाब बल्कि पूरे देश का नाम रोशन करेंगे।
What? हर महीने नया इंटरेस्ट, लास्ट मंथ पॉटरी, इस मंथ डीजे।
अरे यार, अगर हर महीने इंटरेस्ट मिलता रहे तो हर महीने कुछ इंटरेस्टिंग होना चाहिए कि नहीं? क्योंकि मेरा बैंक जो है वो मेरी तरह, सॉरी तुम्हारी तरह है, यंग एंड फ्रेंडली।
आपकी तरह।
By 2050, the gap will be more than 50% between supply and demand, and that will create a real havoc. It's very important to holistically manage this resource so that the future generation can get the fresh water supply for their existence.
अगर हमने पानी जमीन के भीतर पहुंचाया तो फिर हम शायद आने वाली पीढ़ी को बेहतर कर पाएंगे।
Ion Exchange India presents Drops of Change only on India Today Television.
You are watching India Today.
Former US President Donald Trump said he expects to be arrested today but offered no evidence. Trump called on his supporters to protest as prosecutors considered charges over a hush money payment to porn star Stormy Daniels. Here's a report.
Former U.S. President Donald Trump on Saturday said he expects to be arrested Tuesday and called on his supporters to protest as prosecutors consider charges over a hush money payment to a porn star. On his social media platform Truth Social, Trump posted Saturday that a leak from the Manhattan District Attorney's Office indicated, quote, the far and away leading Republican candidate and former president of the United States of America will be arrested on Tuesday of next week. Trump, whose supporters stormed the U.S. Capitol on January 6, 2021, in a failed effort to overturn his 2020 election defeat, wrote, quote, protest, take our nation back. A spokesman for Trump said the former president had not been notified of any arrest. Trump provided no evidence of leaks and did not discuss the possible charges in his post. The probe comes at a critical time as Trump seeks the re-election nomination for the presidency in 2024. No U.S. president has faced criminal charges while in office or afterward. A spokesperson for Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg declined to comment. His office has been investigating a $130,000 payment made by Trump's former personal lawyer Michael Cohen to porn star Stormy Daniels in the run-up to the 2016 election.
Hi, everyone.
Trump has called the investigation a witch hunt. Republican House Speaker Kevin McCarthy on Saturday decried the investigation. He announced his own investigation into whether federal funds are being used to interfere in elections by what he described as a politically motivated prosecution of Trump. Trump has said he will continue campaigning even if he is charged with a crime.
Well, we're slipping into a very short commercial break. Lots more coming up on the other side. Stay with us.
You are watching India Today.
%100% happiness with SBI Home Loans. Zero processing fee at 8.50% onwards. Apply today. Call 1800112018. Visit homeloans.sbi.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Pencil and pen needle.
Dispovan.
Aline, we got it.
Yes.
Dispovan pen needles. Anytime, anywhere.
युवा शक्ति किसी भी देश, राज्य और समाज के विकास की धुरी। युवा शक्ति को सही दिशा और उनके जोश, उनके सपनों को सही मार्गदर्शन और सहारा मिले तो खुलती है प्रगति और खुशहाली की नई राहें। वर्ष 2023-24 के बजट में मुख्यमंत्री जी द्वारा की गई घोषणाएं राज्य के युवाओं के उज्जवल भविष्य के निर्माण के लिए बनेंगी नींव का पत्थर, उनके सपनों को देंगी नई उड़ान और उन्हें देंगी एक नई पहचान। 500 करोड़ रुपए का युवा विकास एवं कल्याण कोष, मुख्यमंत्री अनुप्रति कोचिंग योजना, गत वर्ष 15,000 युवाओं को मिली मुफ्त कोचिंग। इस वर्ष 30,000 युवाओं को मिलेगा मुफ्त कोचिंग का लाभ। प्रदेश के युवाओं के लिए सभी भर्ती परीक्षाएं अब होंगी निशुल्क। युवाओं को आधुनिक तकनीक वाले स्टार्टअप व उद्योग लगाने के लिए 250 करोड़ रुपए की राशि से राजस्थान वेंचर कैपिटल फंड। उच्च स्तरीय रिसर्च और डेवलपमेंट कोर्सेज के लिए APJ अब्दुल कलाम इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी। सिविल एविएशन के क्षेत्र में राजीव गांधी एविएशन यूनिवर्सिटी। खनिज एवं पेट्रोलियम क्षेत्र के लिए खुलेगी माइनिंग यूनिवर्सिटी। युवाओं को इनोवेशन के लिए प्रेरित करेगा राजीव गांधी इनोवेशन चैलेंज। इसमें श्रेष्ठ इनोवेशन करने वाले युवाओं के लिए 35 करोड़ रुपए के कुल 100 पुरस्कार। इस वर्ष 500 होनहार युवाओं को मिलेगा विदेश के उच्च शिक्षण संस्थानों में अध्ययन का अवसर। युवा हितों के प्रति संवेदनशील और जागरूक है राजस्थान सरकार। युवा सपनों को मिल रही उड़ान, समृद्ध हो रहा राजस्थान।
News is about putting people first. Just look at the queues right across. About asking the right questions to those in power. Is money power being used to bring down elected governments? Who will be held accountable for ministerial corruption? It takes no sides.
माँ का दर्द एक दर्द कोई नहीं समझ सकता उस दर्द को.
It reveals. It heals.
Angry people came out on the streets.
Is this the kind of justice system we want in this country? News is all heart and no hatred.
बिल्किस बानो आज क्या कहना चाहेंगी आप?
हमारे साथ जो हुआ है किसी के साथ भी नहीं होना चाहिए.
Experience the news. With me, Rajdeep Sardesai, only on India Today.
हिमालय की गोद से लेकर केरला के बैकवाटर्स तक हमारे फैमिली ने इतना घुमा के हम और घूमना चाहते हैं। थैंक्स टू माय क्लब महिंद्रा मेंबरशिप जो मुझे देता है 80 से भी ज्यादा रिसोर्ट्स और 2000 से भी ज्यादा एक्सपीरियंसेस का मजा। क्यों है ना क्लब महिंद्रा मेंबरशिप फैमिली के लिए एक मस्त चॉइस।
क्लब महिंद्रा, वी कवर इंडिया, यू डिस्कवर इंडिया।
You said at one of our conclaves and it stuck with me. कुछ बनने का नहीं, कुछ करने का सोचो. Since you're a great believer of technology, Prime Minister, I thought you would enjoy meeting our newest anchor, Sana. She is our first AI anchor and I'd very much like you to meet her. Sana, come say hello.
माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी, हम आभारी हैं कि आप हमारे बीच आए। मेरी ऑन द जॉब लर्निंग अब शुरू हो गई है और 2024 तक मैं देश की सबसे अच्छी जर्नलिस्ट होने की कोशिश करूंगी। उम्मीद करती हूँ कि तब आपसे एक एक्सक्लूसिव इंटरव्यू करने का मौका मिलेगा। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
Thank you, Sana. I'm sorry, Prime Minister, she's very ambitious. I'm sure, PM, you already have a few AI spokespersons in the making, ready for me. And I will be welcoming them in the Aaj Tak AI newsroom.
You are watching India Today.
Breaking news coming in. Protests outside Indian High Commission in London. That's the breaking news coming in at the moment. This is anger over Khalistanis supporters pulling down tricolour in London. And now you can see the protests that are, the visuals that are coming in from London outside the Indian High Commission. Neha Suryavanshi now joins us. She's joining us from the Indian High Commission in London. First up, Neha, is this, of course, happening on the back of the anger over Khalistani supporters pulling down the tricolour in London, and what are the protesters demanding at the moment?
Yeah, so basically I'm here exactly in the central London in front of High Commission, and you can see there a whole group of Indian diaspora, Indian communities, and all these community people, they have collected here to show their support for the Indian High Commission, to show that they stand with the Indian High Commission of India, to show the solidarity. And you can see how they have beautifully dressed in Indian colors, Indian dresses, Indian ethnic dresses, and they are dancing. Loud music is playing here with all these national anthems and everything, and you can see all these people have national flags. And I will show you the visuals. The people here are dancing, cheering, and they are showing their strong support for India and Indian High Commission, and they are trying to show that how strong we all stand united. You can see there here, the Metropolitan Police Department is also present here. Police officials are here to make sure that the protest and everything by Indian community goes smoothly. And you can see the most important thing today to see here is the Indian flag, which is standing high in front of the Indian embassy. And you can see the bigger the flag is, it's showing the greater solidarity of this Indian community. You can see the flag, it's flying high in front of the Indian embassy.
All right, Neha, if you can get us some reactions from the protesters as well.
Yeah, sure. I'll try to speak to some of the people, and I'll try to get you the reaction. But first, I want to show you the glasses which has been vandalized by these protesters yesterday. You can see the glasses which has been vandalized, and I'll try to speak with some of the people. And so we are from India today. What would you like to say? What would you like to say with the things which have happened yesterday? So people are not trying to speak. They have earlier tried to speak to the diplomats as well, but they have tried not to share any information and not to go live for any channels. They have rejected all the requests to go live for any channels. But you can see the people who they are not able to speak. They are not trying to speak. They don't want to speak. But yeah, they have collected here to show full support for Indian community. And even if you will see the flags and everything, it has mentioned that United We Stand. It has all the symbols. You can see the chanting and everything which is happening here in front of central London.
Absolutely. There's also slogan hearing going on. Neha, what are they saying?
They are saying Vande Mataram, United We Stand for India, and our pride, our Tiranga. You can see how they are waving their flags, and what they are trying to showcase here from this protest, from this solidarity, is that we stand with India, and just a bunch of people with these ideology cannot portray what Indians stand for. This is what they are trying to show here by these protests.
And Neha, can you update us with India registering a strong protest with the British government also over the safety of its diplomatic mission, questioning the lack of sufficient security at the premises too?
As of now, they have not said anything or not registered any protest in this regard. But yes, Indian diplomats and Indian officials, they are really upset about the fact that no security was present. In fact, an Indian diplomat was also summoned yesterday because there was not enough security. These people could have done anything. These people could have come with anything, any equipment. So that's why one Indian diplomat has also been summoned yesterday. And as you can see, people are dancing. But yeah, this protest is just to showcase their solidarity. But as of now, Indian diplomats have not protested against the fact that there was not enough security, and anything could have happened at Indian High Commissioner in London.
All right. Thanks, Neha, for joining us with those details on this story. We'll continue getting you live updates from London as we go along the way. There's a massive manhunt on to nab fugitive Amritpal Singh. In a fresh CCTV video that has been accessed by India Today, Amritpal can be seen escaping along with his convoy. It is said that he went towards Shahkot. He got down from the Mercedes, got into a Brezza and started fleeing. He then changed his clothes, his looks, and he fled with one of his aides on 2 motorcycles. The police have recovered his clothes, car and some more weapons. NIA has also stepped in and initiated a probe in this matter. High Court has reprimanded the Maan government over Amritpal's free run and underscored that if he has escaped, then it is an intelligence failure, as it was moving in a convoy with filled weaponry. Security has been beefed up in Punjab and neighbouring states to prevent mobilization and violence.
Flag marches in the heart of Jalandhar city. Behind me you can see a huge deployment of security force, mostly the Central Armed Police Force, also the Rapid Action Force. These are visuals that we're showing to you of a flag march in the right of heart of Jalandhar city. And remember, Jalandhar is the area from one of the villages. That's where Amritpal had escaped with some of his associates. He may have been at large, but his associates are the ones who are getting arrested one after the other. Now almost 150 people have been arrested. 7 of them have been slapped with NSA, taken to Dibrugarh in Assam. And this is where any attempt of a Khalistan ideologue, that's being nipped in the bud. Several of the parties have been hitting out at Bhagwant Mann government and saying it's an action which has come a little too late. But let's just try and get you and see the visuals out here. This is where the action is taking place, and CRPF with its Rapid Action Force, men and women in uniform in blue, and this is where a confidence building measure. But the real confidence will obviously come in once Amritpal is arrested, and this is where the deployment here is solid, and this is where they'll say that in a few hours or days there will be a successful result which will come in. With camera person Chandi Ram, this is Kamaljit Sandhu in Jalandhar for India Today.
Slipping to a very short commercial break. Lots more coming up on the other side. Stay with us on India Today.
You are watching India Today.
100% happiness with SBI Home Loans. 0 processing fee at 8.50% onwards. Apply today. Call 1800112018. Visit homeloans.sbi.
Don't let water go down the drain. Make it circulate again. Embrace the circular economy for a sustainable water domain to reuse and regenerate this precious resource. This World Water Day, be the change you want to see in the world. Join the fight for a sustainable future and help ensure that everyone has access to clean, safe water. Ion Exchange India presents Drops of Change at these times only on India Today Television.
हर माता पिता अपने बच्चे के उज्जवल भविष्य का सपना देखते हैं। अपने बच्चे के बेहतर भविष्य के लिए उनकी यही कोशिश रहती है कि उनके बच्चे देश के सबसे शानदार स्कूलों में पढ़ाई करें, जहां उन्हें बेहतरीन सुविधाएं और शिक्षा का स्तर मिले। अक्सर इस सपने को साकार करने के लिए माता पिता को निजी स्कूलों का भारी भरकम खर्च उठाना पड़ता है और अपने बच्चे के भविष्य के लिए अपनी मेहनत की कमाई का बड़ा हिस्सा लगाना पड़ता है। लेकिन पंजाब में ऐसा नहीं होगा, क्योंकि मुख्यमंत्री भगवंत मान के नेतृत्व में पंजाब सरकार 23 जिलों में 117 विश्व स्तरीय स्कूल ऑफ एमिनेंस बनाने जा रही है, जहां न सिर्फ शिक्षा उच्च स्तर की दी जाएगी, बल्कि बच्चों के ओवरऑल पर्सनालिटी डेवलपमेंट के लिए खेल, वोकेशनल स्टडीज, आर्ट एंड क्राफ्ट, म्यूजिक से लेकर योगा तक हर सुविधाएं दी जाएंगी, जिससे पंजाब का हर बच्चा आने वाले समय के लिए बेहतर तरीके से तैयार हो सके और अपने माता पिता का सपना साकार कर सके। स्कूल ऑफ एमिनेंस में 5 प्रोफेशनल कोर्सेज पर विशेष ध्यान दिया जाएगा। इन कोर्सेज में इंजीनियरिंग, मेडिकल, लॉ, कॉमर्स, यूपीएससी, एनडीए की परीक्षा की तैयारी 9वीं कक्षा से ही करवाना शुरू किया जाएगा। स्कूल ऑफ एमिनेंस से निकलने वाले बच्चे न सिर्फ पंजाब बल्कि पूरे देश का नाम रोशन करेंगे।
One of the other areas that influenced me, again a very simple message by Dan Pink in his book called Drive, and he largely said that in today's world of high creativity and high knowledge. There are three things that motivate people. The first is autonomy. The second thing that motivates people, he said, was mastery. And the third area that motivates people is purpose. So people can become disengaged and demotivated if they don't really understand the purpose of the organization beyond making money. So encouraging them to find purpose and meaning is something that is essential for all organizations.
Life Insurance Pathshala. Some terms and their meanings. Sum assured. It refers to the amount payable to a nominee after the event of the unfortunate demise of the insured, as specified in the chosen life insurance policy.
You are watching India Today.
Breaking news just coming, exclusive images of Amritpal fleeing on your screens. India Today is the only channel that has these images. He's fleeing on a bike. There you go. You can see the watermark images that we're putting out on our screens. No other channel has this image. It is an India Today exclusive where you can see Amritpal saying fleeing from the clutches of the police. Amritpal Singh has been seen fleeing on that particular motorbike. It's been circled in green right there, and that is Amritpal Singh fleeing on a motorbike. He ended up changing his looks, he ended up changing his clothes, and then he fled on this particular bike. The police, of course, in Punjab could not nab him, and these are images that are exclusive to India Today. We're the only ones who have this particular image that we're flashing on your screens right now. We also earlier got you those visuals of the convoy and the Mercedes car, those three cars that fled past those barricades too. And then we are getting you this exclusive shot of Amritpal on a motorbike. He's seen fleeing away. We have accessed these exclusive visuals. First up, images on India Today, and questions arising on the Man government and the state police as well in terms of how he could escape like that in broad daylight. Our reporters will join us in moments from now on this story, but these are exclusive visuals that only India Today has of Amritpal Singh fleeing. You already know the background to the story. There is police deployment all over to nab fugitive Amritpal Singh. We also got you details of how he escaped. Now we are getting you the visuals of him on a bike fleeing. Arvind Ojha, breaking the story first, is now joining us. Arvind, बताइए कि ये जो है एक्सक्लूसिव विजुअल हम दिखा रहे हैं, उसमें अमृतपाल फ्ली कर रहे हैं, वो कहाँ का विजुअल है? नंबर 2, पुलिस ने उनके कपड़े, उनकी गाड़ी, कोई हथियार, इसके अलावा क्या रिकवर किया है? अरविंद, आपको मेरी आवाज आ रही है?
जी
अरविंद, बताइए हमारे दर्शकों को ये इमेज के बारे में। हमने बताया है कि वो बाइक पर किस तरीके से फ्ली कर दिए हैं, और ये भी बताइए कि पुलिस के थ्रू आपको क्या खबर आ रही है, क्या रिकवर किया है? कपड़े, गाड़ी, हथियार?
देखिए, 17 मार्च को जब अमृतपाल को पकड़ने की कोशिश कर रही थी पंजाब पुलिस, उसके बाद वो लगातार पुलिस को चकमा देने के लिए पहले मर्सिडीज, उसके बाद ब्रेजा कार, उसके बाद बाइक पर सवार होकर भागा। इंडिया टुडे ने वो पिक्चर एक्सक्लूसिवली एक्सेस किया है, जिसमें अगर आप देखें तो इस पिक्चर में पीछे जो बैठा है वो अमृतपाल है, और पिंक कलर की उसने पगड़ी वो पहनी हुई है। जो इंडिया टुडे को पंजाब पुलिस के सोर्सेस ने बताया है कि कहीं ना कहीं पंजाब पुलिस को चकमा देने के लिए वो सबसे पहले उस स्पॉट से भागा, उसके बाद मर्सिडीज कार से भागा, उसके बाद ब्रेजा कार से जलंधर के शाहकोट इलाके में गया। वहां पर उसने अपना कपड़ा पूरी तरह से बदल लिया, पैंट शर्ट पहना, उसके बाद जो पगड़ी थी वो पिंक कलर की ली, उसके बाद एक प्लेटिना बाइक और एक बुलेट बाइक, वो 2 बाइक आती है और प्लेटिना बाइक में बैठकर अमृतपाल शाहकोट से आगे की तरफ भागता हुआ इसमें दिखाई दे रहा है। ये जो तस्वीरें हैं ये पहली बार इंडिया टुडे पर हम दिखा रहे अपने व्यूवर्स को कि किस तरीके से वो अमृतपाल जो पंजाब में रहकर अलग खालिस्तान की मांग कर रहा था, जब पुलिस ने उस पर शिकंजा कसना शुरू किया तो किस तरीके से वो बाइक पर बैठकर भागता हुआ दिखाई दे रहा है। और पंजाब पुलिस लगातार इसका पीछा कर रही है। कभी वो मर्सिडीज में बैठकर भागता है, उसके बाद वो चेंज करता है, फिर ब्रेजा कार में आता है और ये अब बाइक पर सवार होकर भागता हुआ दिखाई दे रहा है। अब पंजाब पुलिस लगातार इसका पीछा कर रही है। हालांकि अभी तक जो अमृतपाल है उसको गिरफ्तार नहीं किया गया है, लेकिन 2 बाइक जिन लोगों ने प्रोवाइड कराई थी उनको डिटेन किया है पंजाब पुलिस ने। साथ ही साथ जो ब्रेजा कार जिसका यूज किया था वो पंजाब के होशियारपुर से पुलिस ने रिकवर कर लिया है। कुल मिलाकर जो 4 लोग हैं उनको डिटेन किया गया है। लेकिन ये तस्वीरें बता रही हैं कि किस तरीके से जो अमृतपाल है उसको लगातार उसके सपोर्टर्स कहीं ना कहीं हर स्टेप पर उसको हेल्प कर रहे थे, चाहे वो लॉजिस्टिक मुहैया कराना हो, चाहे कपड़े मुहैया कराना हो। और उसके बाद किस तरीके से ये बाइक पर बैठकर अपना हुलिया बदलकर जो पिंक कलर की पगड़ी है, पैंट शर्ट पहनकर बाइक पर ये भागता हुआ दिखाई दे रहा है, जो तस्वीरें इंडिया टुडे पर एक्सक्लूसिव है।
जी बिल्कुल। और इसमें आप जो सीक्वेंस है आप जरा हमें एक्सप्लेन कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि हमने 3 अलग किस्म की तस्वीरें हमारे दर्शकों को दिखाई है। एक वो ब्रेजा कार वाली है, एक मर्सिडीज वाली और एक बाइक वाली है।
देखिए मैं आपको सबसे पहले बताऊं, जो अमृतपाल है, ऑपरेशन अमृतपाल पंजाब पुलिस ने सेंट्रल एजेंसीज के साथ मिलकर ये चलाया, जिसके बारे में किसी को जानकारी नहीं हुई। और 17 मार्च को जब जालंधर में अमृतपाल को घेरा गया तो जो हमारे सोर्सेज हैं इंटेलिजेंस के, कि उनको भी उम्मीद नहीं थी कि अमृतपाल भागेगा। पंजाब पुलिस को यह लग रहा था कि अमृतपाल अपने जो समर्थक हैं उनके साथ वो सरेंडर कर देगा, लेकिन ये अनएक्सपेक्टेड हुआ कि अमृतपाल भागा। सबसे पहले मर्सिडीज जिसका वो इस्तेमाल करता था उससे वो भागता है। उसके बाद चूंकि उसको ये पता चल गया था कि पुलिस उसके पीछे है, लिहाजा वो ब्रेजा कार मर्सिडीज से उतरकर ब्रेजा कार में बैठता है और ब्रेजा कार जालंधर से तकरीबन 40 किलोमीटर दूर शाहकोट एक जगह है, वो ब्रेजा कार से वहां पर जाता है, जहां पहले से ही 2 बाइक वो अरेंज करके रखी हुई।
Arvind, breaking the story first here on India Today. Kamaljeet Sandhu also joining us. Kamaljeet, what is going on? There's a Brezza car. We've got visuals of the Mercedes as well. We've got the visuals of him fleeing on a bike too. Big questions on what is the Punjab police even doing when it comes to nabbing him?
Obviously, this is leads that has come into Punjab police. They've scanned through the CCTV as well as various evidence. That's where first the program happened on the 18th, and that's when a green flag was given that the operation should actually be fructified. That is when he was headed towards Moga, and that's when 50 cars started chasing him. This included the car and teams of CP Jalandhar, the DIG Jalandhar, as well as SSP Moga. And that is where the team got split into 2. One went to Mehtabpur, the other one actually went to Shahkot. And this is where that's the last known location of Amritpal. And there where you see when the cars were chasing, the Mercedes was going at a speed of 19 kilometers per hour. This is way too fast for a Scorpio or a Mahindra. But they tried to actually slow him down by hitting the car from behind. And that is where the recovery is actually shown. The car has dents, but also his men tried to take out weapons to show to the police that they were carrying some weapons, and the police showed the weapons back. They were carrying AK-47s, and there was a show of strength in between. And that's when he went around a square, and the police said, we will take another route. And that is when he got a small gap where he could change into another Brezza car, and that's when he completely changed his attire. From the Nihang's clothes, he wore into the other set of clothes that you see on the bike, and wore a pink turban. The kirpan that he's carried, and after being baptized, that is considered very sacred. He abandoned that and then very quickly moved on to two bikes with his aides. One was a Platina bike, the other one was a Bullet bike, both of that being captured. And this is where new
Shiv Arur is here taking forward the rest of this broadcast as well. Shiv, the manner in which Kamaljeet has been explaining the way...
These are the first images.
Yes,
what we've got here are the first images of Amritpal Singh. This is a big exclusive in the media's coverage and the police's hunt for Khalistani thug number 1. On India Today, you're seeing images that you're going to see nowhere else in the media right now, because that's how closely we're tracking this all-important story impinging on the national security of India, the security of Punjab, this lowly thug who's running like a coward now after being trained and funded by Pakistan. This is his guts. This is the level of Amritpal Singh's guts, that he's running like a coward and hiding with his other terrorists after being funded and trained by Pakistan. And these are the first pictures accessed by India Today's Kamaljeet Sandhu and her team to bring us these first images of Bhagoda Amritpal Singh as he tries to make a coward's getaway. I want to go across once again to Kamaljeet, who along with her team has been bravely reporting this story from the front lines of Punjab, where it has been unfolding. The first images, Kamal, make sense of these for us. It's been over 70 hours since Amritpal Singh went into hiding. Do these images suggest, Kamal, that the police have a rough idea of where he's hiding?
Well, yes, Shiv, let me tell you, Operation Amritpal really began on the 18th of March, and the entire thing happened between 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. So within those 3 hours, a lot really changed. One was because Punjab police got a green signal that they should go ahead with the arrest, and that is when the 50 cars actually went and chased. And that's when Amritpal and his driver and his associates realized that they were being followed by police, and that is when at the Moga cross border, that's when they decided to take a U-turn, and that's when the real chase began. There were two Envoy cars, one Brezza, there was a Mercedes. These were the 4 cars in which Amritpal and his aides were going ahead, and that's when CP Jalandhar, who was leading from the front, Kuldeep Chahal, as well as DIG Swapna Sharma. We also know that SSP Moga was also part of that team, and they were chasing him right behind, and that's when they hit the car multiple times in a bid to stop it. But the Mercedes cars were speeding too much, and we've been told, despite being a village road, they were at a speed of 90 kilometers per hour, and that is where the Boleros and Mahindras may not be so much of a match. You know, the Scorpios just chasing them. But there was an attempt. But even when there was a gap, that's when he quickly changed into Brezza car. There was a change of attire. Obviously, they must have thought about an escape route, because one person cannot just change very quickly, drive off in a Platina as well as a Bullet motorbikes waiting. There has to be a bit of a planning. Amritpal obviously knew the end was near, and perhaps that is why there was some sort of a thinking, because the motorbikes which came in, and we've been told he knocked down a couple of them, and 4-5 motorcyclists got hurt, and we've been told the story is that some of them could have actually been there to prevent the police cars from going over, because police cannot afford a collateral, and that is where at Shah Court he kind of disappeared. And this is where the real story really lies, that one particular image of him being in a pink turban and changing. And we've been told that what is extremely sacred for a baptized Sikh is his kirpan. That's the one he left in Brezza along with his Nehang clothes.
Kamal, stay with me. Inspector General Sukhchain Gill has just started his press conference. Let's listen.
Harpreet Singh alias Happy ਤੇ ਗੁਰਪ੍ਰੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਏਲੀਅਸ ਭੇਜਾ, ਇਹ 4 ਉਹ ਅਕਿਊਜ਼ ਦਾ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਭੱਜਣ 'ਚ ਮਦਦ ਕੀਤੀ ਸੀ। ਬਰੇਜ਼ਾ ਕਾਰ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਯੂਜ਼ ਹੋਈ ਸੀ, ਉਹ ਬਰੇਜ਼ਾ ਕਾਰ ਰਿਕਵਰ ਹੋ ਗਈ ਹੈ। ਮਨਪ੍ਰੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਏਲੀਅਸ ਮੰਨਾ, ਇਹ ਨਵਾਂ ਕਿਲਾ ਸ਼ਾਹਕੋਟ ਦਾ ਰਹਿਣ ਵਾਲਾ ਹੈ। ਗੁਰਦੀਪ ਸਿੰਘ ਏਲੀਅਸ ਦੀਪਾ ਇਹ ਬੱਲ 9 ਪਿੰਡ ਨਕੋਦਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉੱਥੋਂ ਦਾ ਰਹਿਣ ਵਾਲਾ ਹੈ। ਹਰਪ੍ਰੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਏਲੀਅਸ ਹੈਪੀ ਇਹ ਕੋਟਲਾ ਨੌਰਥ ਸਿੰਘ ਆ ਹੁਸ਼ਿਆਰਪੁਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉੱਥੋਂ ਦਾ ਰਹਿਣ ਵਾਲਾ ਹੈ। ਗੁਰਭੇਜ ਸਿੰਘ ਏਲੀਅਸ ਭੇਜਾ ਇਹ ਗੁੰਦਾਰਾ ਪਿੰਡ ਆ ਫਰੀਦਕੋਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉੱਥੋਂ ਦਾ ਰਹਿਣ ਵਾਲਾ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਚਾਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਖਿਲਾਫ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਜਦੋਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਫੜਿਆ ਗਿਆ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਗੱਡੀ ਮਿਲੀ ਆ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਵੀ 315 ਬੋਰ ਦੀ ਇੱਕ ਰਾਈਫਲ ਮਿਲੀ ਆ, ਕੁਝ ਤਲਵਾਰਾਂ ਮਿਲੀਆਂ ਵਾ, ਵਾਕੀ ਟਾਕੀ ਸੈੱਟ ਮਿਲਿਆ ਵਾ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਆਰਮਡ ਐਕਟ ਦਾ ਕੇਸ ਤੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕਸਟਡੀ ਚੋਂ ਮਤਲਬ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਦੀ ਗ੍ਰਿਫਤ ਤੋਂ ਭਜਾਉਣ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਐਡ ਕੀਤੇ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ FIR ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ। ਜਿਹੜੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਅਹਿਮ ਗੱਲ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਆਈ ਆ ਕਿ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤਪਾਲ ਸਿੰਘ ਇੱਥੋਂ ਦੌੜਨ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਨੰਗਲ ਅੰਬੀਆਂ ਪਿੰਡ ਆ ਉੱਥੇ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰਾ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਗਿਆ। ਉੱਥੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਉਹਨੇ ਕੱਪੜੇ ਚੇਂਜ ਕੀਤੇ, ਉਹਨੇ ਸ਼ਰਟ ਪਾਈ, ਪੈਂਟ ਪਾਈ, ਫਿਰ ਉੱਥੋਂ ਦੌੜਿਆ, ਆਪਣੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਤਲਵਾਰ ਸੀ ਉੱਥੇ ਛੱਡ ਦਿੱਤੀ।
Amritpal quickly changed his clothes,
ਜਿਹੜੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਫੜੇ
even as he changed from Brezza car to the motorcycle.
ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਆਈ ਕਿ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਉਹ ਨੰਗਲ ਅੰਬੀਆਂ ਪਿੰਡ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰਾ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਆ ਉੱਥੇ ਗਿਆ ਸੀਗਾ। ਉਸ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰਾ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੱਪੜੇ ਚੇਂਜ ਕਰਕੇ
he went to a Gurdwara Sahib in Nangal. He changed very quickly. He wore a pant shirt. There were motorcycles.
So ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਆਪਾਂ
there were 2 motorcycles in which he fled.
ਸਾਰੇ ਪੰਜਾਬੀਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੇ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਮਾਨਯੋਗ ਮੁੱਖ ਮੰਤਰੀ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਵੱਲੋਂ
I want to make an appeal.
ਸਾਰੇ ਯੋਗਦਾਨ ਦਿਓ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਕੰਟਰੀਬਿਊਸ਼ਨ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਆ। ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਮਾੜੇ ਅੰਸਰ ਆ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਮਾਜ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੈ ਜੀ
that all leads can come into Punjab police.
ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਹੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਅਪੀਲ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਕਿ ਸਾਰੇ ਸਹਿਯੋਗ ਦੇਣ, ਚਾਹੇ ਉਹ ਕੋਈ ਪਬਲਿਕ ਸੰਸਥਾਵਾਂ ਹੋਣ, ਚਾਹੇ ਪਿੰਡਾਂ ਦੇ ਸਰਪੰਚ ਪੰਚ ਕੋਈ ਮੋਤਬਰ ਬੰਦੇ ਆ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ
any person in the public who has knowledge of what is going on.
ਜਦੋਂ ਵੀ ਕੋਈ ਕ੍ਰਿਮੀਨਲ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵਾਂਟਡ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਵਾ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਪਾਂ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਹਰ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਬੇਬਿਲਿਟੀ ਨੂੰ ਮੱਦੇਨਜ਼ਰ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਹੋਏ ਨਾਰਮਲੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਰਿਲੀਜ਼ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਕਿਸ ਹੁਲੀਏ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਵਾ।
Once a criminal is involved in any activity,
ਕੁਝ ਪੁਰਾਣੀਆਂ ਫੋਟੋਗ੍ਰਾਫਸ ਆ, ਕੁਝ ਨਵੀਆਂ ਫੋਟੋਗ੍ਰਾਫਸ ਆ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਸੋਸ਼ਲ ਮੀਡੀਆ ਤੋਂ
we have some old photographs in this particular case
ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਰਿਲੀਜ਼ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹਾਂਗੇ। we will want
that we've got from social media and from other places,
ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੁਝ ਕਹਿ ਸਕਦੇ, ਜਦੋਂ ਫੜਿਆ ਜਾਏਗਾ ਉਦੋਂ ਹੀ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗੇਗਾ
that they should go on national TV.
ਪਰ ਰੂਲ ਆਊਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾ ਸਕਦਾ। ਸੋ ਇਹ ਮੈਂ ਫੋਟੋਆਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਕੁਝ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ
that there should be information coming in,
ਉਹ ਫੋਟੋਆਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਰਿਕੁਐਸਟ ਕਰਾਂਗਾ
but inputs are important and vital.
ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਸ ਕੇਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੁਣ ਤੱਕ
and once circulated and there is information coming in, we will keep updating.
ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤਪਾਲ ਸਿੰਘ ਦੇ ਖਿਲਾਫ NSA ਐਕਟ, ਜਿਹਦਾ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ NSA ਐਕਟ ਲਗਾਇਆ ਜਾ ਚੁੱਕਿਆ ਵਾ। ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ
Amritpal has been slapped with the NSA Act.
ਨੈਸ਼ਨਲ ਸਿਕਿਉਰਿਟੀ ਐਕਟ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤਪਾਲ ਦੇ ਖਿਲਾਫ ਉਹ ਲੱਗ ਚੁੱਕਿਆ ਕੱਲ ਦਾ।
NSA is the National Security Act.
ਮੇਰੀ ਗੱਲ ਪੂਰੀ ਮੈਂ ਕਰਦਾ ਉਹ ਐਕਟ ਲੱਗਣ ਤੋਂ
ਬਾਅਦ it has already been slapped on him.
ਕੰਸਰਨਡ ਡਿਪਟੀ ਕਮਿਸ਼ਨਰ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ, ਉਹ ਇੱਕ ਰਿਕੁਐਸਟ ਭੇਜਦੇ ਆ ਜਦੋਂ ਬੰਦਾ ਸਕੇਪ ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ, ਜਦੋਂ ਉਹ ਆਰਡਰ ਦਾ ਪ੍ਰੋਪਰ ਫੋਲੋ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ।
The concerned deputy commissioner then sent a request
ਭੇਜਦੇ ਕਿ ਬੰਦਾ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆਪਣੀ ਅਰੈਸਟ ਆ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਇਵੇਡ ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ ਵਾ। ਉਹ ਫਿਰ
after which a judicial magistrate has sent a request.
ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਉਹਦਾ ਅਰੈਸਟ ਵਾਰੰਟ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਜਾਰੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ। ਸੋ ਇਸ ਕੇਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਨਾਨ ਅਵੇਲੇਬਲ ਵਾਰੰਟ ਆ
then magistrate issues an arrest warrant
ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਿ 18 ਤਰੀਕ 18 ਮਾਰਚ
this is a non available warrant.
ਫਰਦਰ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜੇ ਕੋਈ ਬੰਦਾ ਫਿਰ ਵੀ ਆਪਣੀ ਅਰੈਸਟ ਨੂੰ ਇਵੇਡ ਕਰਦਾ
this was issued on the 18th of March.
ਉਹਦੇ ਖਿਲਾਫ 82 83 ਸੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨੇ CRPC ਦੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਤਹਿਤ ਵੀ ਕਾਰਵਾਈ ਹੋ ਸਕਦੀ ਹੈ। ਸੋ
multiple sections have been slapped on Amritpal under the CRPC.
ਅਰੈਸਟ ਨੂੰ ਇਵੇਡ ਕੀਤਾ, ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹਦੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਪਰ ਪ੍ਰੋਸੀਜਰ ਫੋਲੋ ਕਰਕੇ ਨਾਨ ਅਵੇਲੇਬਲ ਵਾਰੰਟ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨੇ ਜਾਰੀ ਕਰਾਏ ਗਏ।
The charges were slapped on him on the 18th of March, the day he evaded arrest.
जो पंजाब में जो सिचुएशन है बिल्कुल स्टेबल है। ऑनरेबल CM साहब जिनके जैसे खुद आप आज
the situation in Punjab is stable.
स्थिति पे वो खुद नजर रखे हुए हैं इस पूरी स्थिति पे और लगातार फीडबैक ले रहे हैं ऑफिसर से पूरे पंजाब में क्या सिचुएशन है और पूरी तरह से हर तरह पूरी तरह शांति है। आज CM साहब ने जैसे बताया उनको बहुत सारी पंजाब से पंजाब के बाहर से बहुत सारी कॉल्स आई जिनमें लोगों ने उनको धन्यवाद किया क्योंकि सारे लोग बिल्कुल संतुष्ट हैं। जो बैड एलिमेंट्स के खिलाफ पूरा ये ऑपरेशन हुआ है उसमें सारे बहुत खुश हैं और पंजाब के जो लोग हैं और पूरे इंडिया के जो लोग हैं उनको सीएम साहब ने भी धन्यवाद किया है क्योंकि सबसे बहुत कोऑपरेशन मिली इस पूरे ऑपरेशन में और बाकी एजेंसी से बाकी स्टेट से भी हमें फुल कोऑपरेशन मिल रहा है इस केस में और पुलिस इसमें बिल्कुल कानून के अनुसार काम कर रही है। बहुत सारे लोगों को आशंका है लेकिन अभी तक जो प्राइम अक्यूज्ड है वो अभी इस केस में अरेस्ट नहीं हुआ है। जैसे ही वो अरेस्ट होगा तुरंत इसकी जानकारी जो है दी जाएगी।
एक बात बताइए, जो आपने ब्रेजा रिकवर की है और जो 4 बंदों का आपने नाम लिया वो ब्रेजा में ही थे या उन्होंने बाहर से आके अमृतपाल को मदद किया?
नहीं, वो ब्रेजा कार में ही थे। जो मैं वही उसी पे आ रहा हूँ मैं। जो अभी तक हमने जो इसमें एक तो FIR नंबर 28 दर्ज की है 20 मार्च को, जिसमें जो सरपंच है मनप्रीत सिंह उसकी स्टेटमेंट पे FIR दर्ज की है कि 2 लोग जो एक हरजीत सिंह और हरप्रीत सिंह उसने ये एलिगेशन लगाए कि इन्होंने गन पॉइंट पे उसको रखा था और उसके बाद ये लोग जो है पुलिस ने अरेस्ट किए इस केस में। दूसरा गन पॉइंट पे सरपंच जो मनप्रीत सिंह है जो उसको रखा था उसके रेजिडेंस पे कि जबरदस्ती के हमें शेल्टर दिया जाए उसके रेजिडेंस पे, क्योंकि इनको शेल्टर देने के लिए कोई तैयार नहीं था तो उसके एलिगेशन है कि इन्होंने जबरदस्ती गन पॉइंट पे मुझे रखा हुआ था। सरपंच मनप्रीत सिंह है और जो अक्यूज्ड है 2, एक हरजीत सिंह है एक हरप्रीत सिंह है, 2 अक्यूज्ड हैं इसमें। दूसरा जो अहम इसमें जो सुराग लगा है कि 4 अक्यूज्ड हमने अरेस्ट किए हैं जिनसे एक ब्रेजा कार जो है बरामद हुई है। ये मनप्रीत सिंह एलियस मन्ना, गुरदीप सिंह एलियस दीपा, हरप्रीत सिंह एलियस हैप्पी और गुरपेज सिंह एलियस पेजा। ये 4 वो अक्यूज्ड हैं जिन्होंने उसको एस्केप करने में मदद की। ब्रेजा गाड़ी इन्होंने यूज की जब ये चारों ने और अमृतपाल ने मिलकर जब वहां से दौड़े हैं। जो दूसरा जो अहम सुराग इसमें है कि उसके बाद ये गुरुद्वारा साहब है, नंगल अंबिया विलेज का गुरुद्वारा साहब, वहां पे गए, वहां पे कपड़े चेंज किए, पैंट और शर्ट डाली उसने अमृतपाल ने। उसके बाद 2 मोटरसाइकिल्स पे 4 लोग जो थे 2 मोटरसाइकिल्स पे एस्केप किए हैं वहां से। तो इस केस में एक तो मैं सबसे बैड एलिमेंट्स है उनकी अरेस्ट में पंजाब पुलिस को आपके सहयोग की जरूरत है। दूसरा, क्योंकि जैसे ही कोई अक्यूज्ड किसी केस में वांटेड होता है तो उसके हम बहुत सारी पिक्चर्स जो भी हमारे पास अवेलेबल होती हैं वो पिक्चर्स हम रिलीज करते हैं। तो अमृतपाल की बहुत सारी पिक्चर्स हैं जो अलग अलग अटायर में हैं, अलग अलग तरह की पिक्चर्स हैं, वो हम लोग अभी रिलीज कर रहे हैं। वो पिक्चर्स मैं आपको रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि डिस्प्ले की जाए ताकि लोग इसको अरेस्ट करवाने में हमारी मदद कर सकें इस केस में। नहीं, ये कार हमने जो मनप्रीत मन्ना है इनसे हमने रिकवर की है क्योंकि हमारे इन्वेस्टिगेशन में ये इसके रेजिडेंस से हमने की है जो नवा किला है, क्योंकि हमारे इन्वेस्टिगेशन में ये चीज एस्टेब्लिश हो गई थी कि वहां से ब्रेजा गाड़ी यूज हुई है। फर्दर आगे भी जैसे मैंने कहा कि हमने ये भी एस्टेब्लिश कर लिया कि वो गाड़ी में बैठ के ये गुरुद्वारा साहब तक गए हैं, वहां से चेंज करने के बाद फिर 2 मोटरसाइकिल्स में एस्केप किया इन्होंने। तो ये पूरी जो लड़ी है हमारी वो आपस में कनेक्ट हो रही है।
ये जो आपने फोटो दी है उसमें क्लीन शेव भी है।
ये पुरानी फोटोग्राफ्स हैं जो हमने कहीं से, जैसे हमें जिस तरह की बेस में फोटोग्राफ मिली है वो हम रिलीज कर रहे हैं। वो हम नहीं कह सकते क्योंकि जब तक अरेस्ट नहीं होगा वो हम नहीं कह सकते कि वो किस तरह के अटायर में किस तरह के बेस में होगा। बट लोगों की जानकारी के लिए उनके पास हर तरह की फोटोग्राफ होनी जरूरी है। ਜਿਹੜੀ ਬਰੇਜ਼ਾ ਗੱਡੀ ਆ ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਚ ਅਸੀਂ ਹੁਣ ਅੱਗੇ ਫਰਦਰ ਤਫਤੀਸ਼ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ। ਬਰੇਜ਼ਾ ਗੱਡੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਮਿਲੀ ਆ ਮਨਪ੍ਰੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਮੰਨਾ ਦੇ ਕੋਲੋਂ ਮਿਲੀ ਆ ਔਰ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਇਹ 4 ਬੰਦੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਫੜੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਪੁੱਛਗਿੱਛ ਤੋਂ ਹੀ ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਆਈ ਆ ਕਿ ਬਰੇਜ਼ਾ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬੈਠ ਕੇ ਫਿਰ ਇਹ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰਾ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੰਗਲ ਅੰਬੀਆਂ ਉੱਥੇ ਗਏ। ਉੱਥੇ 4 ਬੰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ, ਇਹਦੇ ਚ 3 ਬੰਦੇ ਹੋਰ ਆ। ਇਹ ਵਾਲੇ 4 ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨਾਲ escape ਕੀਤੇ, 3 ਹੋਰ ਬੰਦੇ ਆ, ਮਤਲਬ 3 + 1 ਨਹੀਂ। ਉਹ ਚੀਜ਼ ਅਜੇ ਵੈਰੀਫਾਈ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਕੌਣ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਇਆ ਸੀ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ उस जगह के उत्ते 3 बंदे होर सीगे, फिर 4 बंदे 2 मोटरसाइकिल पे। मोटरसाइकिल ठीक है सर, मोटरसाइकिल का पता लगा कौन कौन मोटरसाइकिल से? नहीं वही मैं।
There were 4 men on motorcycle when they left. Those
4 बंदे 3 बंदे नाल
video as well as visuals are available.
ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬਰੇਜ਼ਾ ਕਾਰ 'ਚ ਬਿਠਾ ਕੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਤੱਕ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਗਏ ਸੀਗੇ ਉਹ 4 ਬੰਦੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਅਰੈਸਟ ਕਰ ਲਏ।
The ones in Breza car, the 4 members have been arrested now, but the ones who escaped with Amritpal are still at large.
ये पता चला है कि ये 4 लोग वहाँ पे गए थे, वहाँ से फिर चेंज करके आगे गए। बाकी इन्वेस्टिगेशन कौन से बाइक से कौन लेके आया था, लगा था कि उसके परिवार वाले आरोप लगा रहे हैं कि अमृतपाल पुलिस कस्टडी में है। क्या कहना सर आपका कि क्या कस्टडी में है या पंजाब के? देखो मैं इसको बहुत पहले हम लोग स्पष्ट कर चुके हैं कि अमृतपाल आज तक पुलिस की कस्टडी में नहीं है। पुलिस 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 बिल्कुल 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 लॉ के मुताबिक काम कर रही है। जैसे ही अरेस्ट होगा तुरंत हम बताएंगे, बिकॉज हम इससे ज़्यादा एक करके कर लेते हैं। तो मैं पूछ सकता हूँ जैसे कि फंडिंग के बारे में कुछ पता चला सर कि फंडिंग के ऊपर एक आपने जो गुड़गांव से गिरफ्तार किया सर? देखो हमें जैसे मैंने कहा कि सारी सेंट्रल एजेंसी से हमें बिल्कुल बहुत कोऑपरेशन मिल रही है। एक स्पेसिफिक एजेंसी क्या कर रही है वो मैं नहीं बता पाऊंगा इस जगह पे। एमआई की कितनी टीमें सर यहाँ पे हैं? नहीं देखो ये सारा ये जड़िया चीज़ा है ना कि वैल प्लान सीगा ਜਾਂ ਕੱਪੜੇ ਨਾਲ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਏ ਸੀ, ਇਹ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਅਜੇ ਵੈਰੀਫਾਈ ਹੋਣਗੀਆਂ ਤਫਤੀਸ਼ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, क्योंकि एक एक करके पूछो जी सर क्या सर हाँ जी ब्रीजा गाड़ी अभी हमारी कस्टडी में है। पुलिस स्टेशन शाहकोट है, वहाँ पे हमारे जिला जलंधर रूरल है। क्या अमृतपाल ह्यूमन बम बनाने के भी विचार कर रहा है? ऐसा कोई अभी तक हमारे इन्वेस्टिगेशन में मैं कह रहा जी वो पार्ट चेक कर रहे। देखो अजे आज उन्होंने सुबह अरेस्ट किया चारों नूं, उन्होंने जो दस्या प्रिलिमिनरी इन्वेस्टिगेशन दे विच वो मैं तुहानूं दस्ता। जिहड़ी अगे मोटरसाइकिल कित्थे गए, किद्दां गए, की उहदी ट्रेल की आ, वो पार्ट अजे सारा असीं चेक कर रहे हैं। तो वो टाइम टू टाइम जिस तरह कल
we are still trying to find out the trail. There are pictures on the motorbike. Today we have made some arrests in the morning. We still scanning through the evidence.
देखो ये ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕਾਲ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਜੀ ਐਨਐਸਏ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਕ ਪ੍ਰੋਵੀਜ਼ਨ ਆ, ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪ੍ਰੋਵੀਜ਼ਨ ਹੈ ਸੈਕਸ਼ਨ 5 ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬੰਦੇ ਤੋਂ ਵੀ ਥ੍ਰੈਟ ਆ ਸਿਕਿਉਰਿਟੀ ਆਫ ਸਟੇਟ ਨੂੰ ਜਾਂ ਪਬਲਿਕ ਆਰਡਰ ਨੂੰ ਉਹਨੂੰ
There's a provision of section 5 in the NSA.
तो ਉਹਦੇ ਲਈ ਸਿਰਫ ਇੱਕ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਉਸ ਸੈਕੰਡ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਟੇਟ ਆ ਉਹਦੀ
that once invoked allows for a prisoner to be kept in another state.
1-to-1 basis ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਕਾਲ ਲਈ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ। ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਕ ਬਲੈਂਕਟ ਚੱਲਦੀ ਹੈ।
5 people have been sent to Dibrugarh and Assam under the NSA.
उसके पास से कुछ बुलेट प्रूफ जैकेट भी मिली है, हथियार मिले हैं। क्या है
On each individual cases a call will be taken.
मिली है, एग्जैक्ट नंबर ऑफ जैकेट्स को नहीं मैं बता पाऊंगा, लेकिन सारी जैकेट्स के ऊपर AKF लिखा हुआ है, जिससे हमें सस्पिशन है कि वो जैसे मैंने कल कहा था कि
That was a press conference by the Inspector General of Police of Punjab talking about the getaway of the still absconding Amritpal Singh. Let's get you a quick roundup and a reminder of all developments on this big story, on the Khalistani mob rampage and the backlash that has erupted against it since Monday. A group of violent Khalistanis raised slogans and assaulted participants of an event organized in Canada's Surrey and attended by the Indian High Commissioner. These images show how Khalistani thugs heckled the participants even as the local police remained mute spectators as the protest turned violent. A Canadian journalist of Indian origin who was at the Surrey event where the Indian High Commissioner was a guest was heckled by Khalistani thugs. In this video, you can see how Canadian cops shoved the journalist away from the event instead of providing security to him. The United States has strongly condemned the attack on the Indian consulate in San Francisco by Khalistani thugs and termed it absolutely unacceptable. This comes a day after the protesters shouting pro-Khalistan slogans broke through security barriers to install 2 Khalistani banners inside the consulate premises and then run away like cowards. Meanwhile, several individuals belonging to the Sikh community gathered outside the British High Commission in Delhi on Monday to protest against the Khalistani separatist thugs pulling down the tricolour at the Indian High Commission in London. Carrying the tricolour and placards, protesters stated that they would not tolerate any insult to India's national flag and mounted a full rejection of Khalistani cowards. Australian Senator David Shoebridge was seen in a video provoking a group of Khalistanis who were protesting at the Australian Parliament in Canberra. Shoebridge, who's infamous for his links with Pakistan, was heard slamming India and the crackdown in Punjab against Khalistani separatists like Amritpal Singh. David Shoebridge and other Australian MPs are funded by the Pakistani ISI. Another day, another rampage by Khalistani thugs. Take a look at all of these images, viewer. A group of Khalistani thugs have now gheraoed the Indian High Commissioner to Canada, who was attending a Friends of India and Canada event in a place called Surrey in Canada. In videos accessed by us, it was clear that the Canadian police were mute spectator to the violence that unfurled in Surrey. Take a look at this report.
No stop to Khalistani hate against India. Sikh radical elements stooped down to brazen lawlessness and hooliganism in the Canadian city of Surrey on Monday. They gherawed an event held to welcome the Indian High Commissioner to Canada. Khalistani protesters hurled filthy abuses on people who reached to attend the event. The Khalistanis also launched physical attack on the event organizer, assaulting and shoving him away from the venue.
Since yesterday, when the event was cancelled, we are getting a threatening call. They are threatening from Canada, Australia, America, worldwide. They are giving a number to the other people, they starting threatening even night and day. I am receiving a threatening call.
A journalist who went to cover the event was heckled and roughed up by the pro-Khalistan group. The journalist claimed the police stood as mute spectators all this while.
A group of pro-Khalistani supporters, they, disturbed all that event. They blocked that event and they were start protesting over there. When I reached to those protesters, I told them, I want to go in. They refused to let me go in. They were just, very aggressive in the slogans. They were using abusive words.
The attack in Canada comes a day after Khalistanis went on the rampage in London and San Francisco, vandalizing missions there and pulling down the tricolour. Sikhs in India took to the streets in Delhi to protest against the attacks by Khalistanis abroad.
कोई चीज प्राप्ति करनी है तो आप अपने सिस्टम से आइए, ना कि एम्बेसी में जाके उसका निशान साहब इंडिया का जो झंडा है, तिरंगा है, उसको हटाकर अपना लगाने से उससे कुछ नहीं होने वाला। संविधान के अंदर हम विश्वास करते हैं, हमारा देश का झंडा है, हम इस देश के झंडे के लिए मर मिट सकते हैं, हम इसको झुका नहीं सकते।
The Narendra Modi government has alleged an ISI link to the Khalistani groups.
ये लोग ISI के एक इंस्ट्रूमेंट के तौर पर बन चुके हैं और ये लोग इतने ऐसे हैं कि तुरंत ISI इनको खरीद लेता है या उनको पथभ्रष्ट कर देता है। इसी तरह से ISI चाहता है कि भारत को हम परेशान करें।
While Khalistani attacks against Indians are not new, they seem to have increased ever since the Punjab police launched a manhunt for Khalistani fugitive Amritpal Singh. Bureau Report, India Today.
And after that protest by Khalistani thugs and their acts of vandalism against the Indian embassy in London, now anti-Khalistan protests have broken out outside the Indian embassy in London. Here are images coming in live from outside the Indian embassy where anti-Khalistan protesters have lined up. Indian protests against the K rampage at the Indian embassy in London. Lavina Tandon is with me live. Lavina, over to you. Take us through what's going on.
Oh, it's absolutely united colors of India at display here outside the Indian High Commission in London. Music, melody from Natu Natu to Chak De to Ye Rang De Basanti. It is everywhere, all over the place. But let me take you to the people who are here. I think they are the best. I'm here with this girl. She is a young Muslim who has been brought up here but is completely connected to India. Please tell me, I'll give you this mic and go on and tell me what brings you here, and you look beautiful in these tiranga on your face.
Lavina, we've lost sound with that person.
Proud. As a Muslim myself, that doesn't stop me from following all the festivals in India. India is a home to 29 languages, and so many people speak it. One thing about I love India is diversity. We are home to so many traditions, cultures, and rich ones. So this event is all because of this.
Were you born and brought up here?
No, I've been actually traveling my whole life. I was brought up in around, you could say, 11 countries. So, which makes me native to many cultures, but that never stopped me from being Indian. I have participated in holy, religious events that made me more Indian and more true to my country.
Oh, fantastic. Tell me your name. You are Ikra.
Ikra Khan.
You're Ikra, and here is Ikra Khan's mother as well.
Lavina, we've lost your audio, unfortunately. We'd love to hear all of those people. Yeah, let's try and listen, see if we can hear Lavina now.
Okay. I just want to say that I'm blessed to have her because I've got two more. And, you know, I'm like truly Indian. My whole life has been like I've spent over there. And what my mom has taught me, that the first thing is about the humanity. It's beyond, like it's about all the cultures and everything. And that's what I've learned in India as well. I celebrate Diwali, Holi, whatever, you know, all the Lodi function. So all, and being an Indian, I've never faced any kind of a racism or, you know, all about the security, my school life, my college life. It has given me like a lot of good memories to cherish forever. And that's what I'm teaching to my girls as well. It's about India, that about the integration, you know, because we are diversified in so many cultures, so they get to learn about the integration. So it's just not about one religion, it's about too many religions. Yes, thank you so much. Trying to get my voice heard. All over the place, people are just
Okay, unfortunately, we're facing a bit of an audio problem. I really wish we could fix this on the fly so that all of our viewers could get a sense of the fervor and the united colors of India right there outside the Indian embassy in London, just 2 days after Khalistani thugs, who've all, of course, run away because they don't have real guts. They vandalized the embassy, they pulled down the Indian flag, and then they melted away into the wilderness to be protected. They're probably not even in London anymore. One of the thugs who was arrested was been put out on bail. Lavina, back to you. I hope we can maintain that audio.
Yes. So could you hear the mother and the daughter do a beautiful Indian and Muslim at the same time? And it's not about only being Muslim. It's all about a lot of people from different states, different parts of India coming together and just showing solidarity, showing and saying that we stand for the strength and the power that India is, the united colors of India. Please tell me what brings you here and what is it that you are feeling and thinking about after this attack? Yeah. What? Yeah.
We were really angry at the first instance when you saw that, somebody is coming and attacking our house. They are coming, attacking our heart and mind, which is High Commission of India. This is our second home. They cannot do that, There is a way of protesting. They cannot be violent. They come and break all the glasses in the front, which is completely not acceptable. But still, you see, we as Indian community, we are always there to accept everybody, and we are making our situation to a celebration. This is our that's a thanks to them. They united all Indian community to come together. So diaspora is now standing together. Now we are complaining to the Metropolitan Police, to Home Office, and to PM Rishi Sunak to take necessary action and to make sure that this kind of attack never happens again against our High Commission. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. So could you hear? This is the sentiment here that they are coming together as a united force to tell the United Kingdom that this enough is enough. There needs to be concrete action so that something like this, where diplomats are made to feel insecure, does not happen, where building is not harmed to the extent that it is accounts as criminal damage. While the Metropolitan Police that I have been in touch with, they have released a person to be reporting out on June. They haven't confirmed the identity, but of course, we know where the person is from. But the point is that there is a united front that is being shown by the Indians, at the same time going to the authorities here and urging that an instant and urgent action is required.
And it looks like there's police over there now, ironically, Lavina. In some of those images that you were showing us, it looks like the police have shown up today. I mean, when there's no violence happening. They should have been there a couple of days ago.
Yes, the police did not know about this, and of course, I have to agree that when they turned up, the flag was already pulled down, and the two security guards had come and taken it from the hands of these hooligans indeed, and were in the process of installing it. And as of now, there is huge amount of police presence. It was there yesterday as well. It is today, and it's expected to be tomorrow, when there is expected to be another set of course, these protesters who might be turning up here. But as of now, it's a moment of celebration, which always happens, because this is not the first time that the Indian High Commission or the people of Indian origin have been attacked while celebrating outside. The problem is that it has gone just too far this time, and everyone wants to see what action does the UK government and the Metropolitan Police, so to say, would take, because even if the videos were shot from behind, they would definitely be able to find out who these people are.
Okay, stay with me, Lavina. Also want to get a word in from Neha Suryavanshi. She's also a reporter. She's outside the Indian Embassy in London. Neha, we're seeing these, crowds of very happy Indians. It looks like this is the fight back. This has affected the Indian community in London, and they are out in significant numbers to show that India is united and Khalistanis are being rejected. Neha, can you hear me? Okay, so this is Neha's camera that we've got tuned in for you, and she is. I hope she can hear me. I hope Neha can hear me. Nevertheless, she is sending us these pictures live from right outside the Indian Embassy. I'm not calling it the High Commission anymore, of course. This is the Indian Embassy in London, where these images are playing out. Want to point out once again that you can see cops in this footage, which is ironic given that on the 20th of March, a couple of days ago, when Khalistani thugs were pulling down the Indian flag from the embassy, the police was nowhere to be seen. And today, when there's no harm being done, happy Indians celebrating and protesting against the Khalistanis, the cops have suddenly showed up. So pretty incredible black mark on the London police there, I've got to say. Okay, Lavina is still with us. Lavina, this show of strength by the Indian community, who organized it? and how long is it going to go on for?
So these are people of Indian diaspora and the heads of various communities. It's not one person really. All of the community yesterday, we met and spoke. I met and spoke to them as well. A lot of these community leaders and people in their own might just turned up at the High Commission in anguish to see what had happened, and also wanted to meet the High Commissioner, which they did, to just show their support and solidarity. And then it was quite quickly organized for all these communities to come through and express their strength and solidarity and support to the High Commission, the staff, and the country as a united front.
Lavina, I'm joined live now from London by a British Member of Parliament, Bob Blackman, who's one of the very few British politicians who has spoken out in no uncertain words in support of India on the issue of the Indian embassy being attacked in London. Mr. Blackman, a pleasure. Thank you very much for your time here on India Today, at a time when the Indian community, as you no doubt know, are celebrating unity in reaction to the violence against the Indian embassy a couple of days ago. Those images would be on your screens as well. Mr. Blackman, your reactions first to the violence that took place against the Indian embassy in London a couple of days ago.
Very sad that it's because of these terrible attacks on the commission. The reality is that obviously when I saw this, I was horrified because for two reasons. One is that that people were attempting to break into the commission in the first place, and secondly, there appeared to be no police presence at all outside. And indeed, you know, my concern and my thoughts are with the injured security guards in the commission. I think there's two of them were injured, and indeed we had a position whereby it was unacceptable that the attacks took place. Windows were broken, other vandalism took place on the commission.
Yes.
And frankly, the attempts, of course, by the individuals to grab the flag and pull that down, and then the reaction of the commission staff was to say, "Well, you pull that flag down. We've got an even bigger one that we're going to put up instead." To which point, I applauded them for putting up the flag and not being intimidated by these thugs. The reality is, of course, that the police arrived after the event. And one of the individuals involved in this was arrested at the scene. I understand he's been released.
He has.
On police bail, pending inquiries. And obviously the police are looking at all of the closed-circuit television and other evidence there is around as to the other individuals responsible. And I obviously urge the police to take every action to apprehend those individuals, charge them with offences, and then get them into court as quickly as possible. So
Mr. Blackman, you're right, because the police did show up late on that day when the embassy was being attacked. Today, the cops are there right from the get-go when Indians are protesting against the Khalistanis. Peaceful protest, unlike what the cowards did a couple of days ago. Did the police do enough on that day and since, in your opinion?
Well, I think the problem slightly is this, that if this was an isolated attack, then sometimes it's difficult to. The position is obviously that if they are dealing with a demonstration or something like that, then they know what they're doing. It's not clear to me whether this was a planned demonstration, which requires the police to be informed, or whether this was some sort of other type of event that took place. What is very clear is that these are coordinated attacks across the world. Australia, Canada, and the United States all suffered attacks on Indian Commission buildings at the same, more or less, the same time. That demonstrates that this is a coordinated series of attacks, not just a few sporadic people coming along to demonstrate. On that basis, our security forces should have known that this was being done, and that there should have been action by the police to be present outside the High Commission to protect not only the building, but public order. And the fact that they only arrived after these attacks had taken place is a real concern, and one for which I and many others have been extremely critical. So at the moment, the police, need to answer the questions as to why they weren't there to prevent this from happening. Did they have the intelligence available to them that this sort of attack may take place? Because, as you all know, there was a previous attack some 2 years ago on the commission, and the fact is that this is absolutely unacceptable on the streets of London, as it would be on the streets of Delhi. If any foreign embassy was being attacked there, it would be absolutely unacceptable to the Indian government, in the same way that's absolutely unacceptable to the British people.
Mr. Blackman, the perception here in significant sections of India is that no action has been taken by United Kingdom governments in the past, against similar acts of vandalism and violence, and therefore these groups have been emboldened over time to do what they want, and they think they can get away with it. Would you agree with that?
Well, I think we want to be very clear that this group of Khalistanis, a very small, isolated group. Now, there have been, as you say, other demonstrations and other quite violent demonstrations outside the High Commission over recent years, and I would condemn all of those. That'd be very clear. But they've not all been Khalistanis. Often there are Khalistani presence in these other demonstrations, but often it's pro-Pakistani demonstrations that have taken place. So we have to be careful on this. What we do know, of course, is that when Boris Johnson was Prime Minister, he set up a task force to look at this particular set of people. And one of the questions we should be legitimately asking, and we will be through our contacts through Parliament, is what progress has been made, what action has been taken, and is it now the right time to ban this organisation, prescribe them, and therefore, once prescribed, it would be illegal to be a member of the organisation. It'd be illegal to wave their flags. It would be illegal to carry out such demonstrations, let alone physical attacks on the commission. Clearly, this is one of these attacks is too many, but this is quite clearly now a pattern of behaviour that is absolutely unacceptable and needs to be prevented.
But Mr. Blackman, it looks to everyone watching that it's political compulsions in the United Kingdom, in the face of a changing demographic over decades, that's stopping the UK from cracking down on Khalistanis. There appears to be a slide towards a much more pro-Pakistan kind of voice, and therefore the UK, because of these political compulsions, does not want to crack down on these groups.
The first thing I would say about this is that we should be reviewing what our friends in India have had to do in terms of these groups.
Yeah, absolutely.
My understanding is these groups are banned in India. So if they're banned in India, there's a good reason for it. And we should therefore be looking to say, well, if they're banned in India, because of concerns over terrorism, then we should be looking at them to ban them in a similar fashion. And we should be looking across with our allies across the world to take action against these particular groups. Because the reality is that this was a terrible incident. However, had they been successful in after breaking windows and attempting to get into the commission, if they got into the commission in numbers, then there could have been a very serious incident, which we'd be talking about at all sorts of levels. We want to prevent that from being the case, and therefore stopping this, nipping this now before it escalates still further, because these people will think, well, we can now do this without any action being taken. Well, I want to see prompt action, firm action being taken immediately, so that we stop this once and for all.
Since I have your attention, Mr. Blackman, I would like to ask you this one last question. The silence of the British government, the British Prime Minister, British politicians is stunning. It's deafening. You're one of the rare politicians who's actually spoken out and powerfully on this issue. Here in India, I can tell you there's a great sense of dismay, not surprise, but dismay, and a reality check as far as India-UK relations is concerned over the silence of the British government. Why is that so?
Well, I think one of the things is that the Indian diaspora in the United Kingdom need to contact their politicians, contact their MPs, and urge them for further action. As you quite rightly say, I'm very willing to speak up on behalf of the Indian diaspora in the UK and the friendship between the United Kingdom and India. That's something that we must be building on. We are entering the 7th round of trade talks to try and get the free trade deal that we will aspire to achieve onto the paper and then into reality. So we need to build on that, but we need the Indian diaspora in the United Kingdom really to be speaking directly to the members of Parliament by email, by letter, by phone calls to their offices to say this is unacceptable, because after all, MPs are there to represent all of the different sections of the United Kingdom, or every people, wherever their origin, race or religion. We are there to represent all of them. And as you say, I'm very proud to be a friend of India. I'm very proud to take up these causes, but it shouldn't just be me. It should be others as well that take on this baton and raise it so that we can actually this sort of illegal activity out once and for all.
Bob Blackman, thank you very much for your time. Thank you for speaking out about this, becoming one of the rare British politicians with the guts and the spine to speak out about a very, very important relationship that can still be saved, but I can tell you is definitely in jeopardy based on what's happening at this point of time. Now I want to tell you, we are the only channel that has the guts to show you the faces of each and every one of those Khalistani thugs involved in the vandalism that has taken place in different parts of the world. They attacked India and Indian establishments, and now they are the hunted. The man in this big grey beard, coward number 2, here at the Indian Embassy in London, a whole bunch of them, and you can see their faces. We will zoom in. We were going to put these faces on the website. We will be sharing this with any law enforcement agency that cares to look very, very closely at all of this. And we will continue to zero in on each one of these Khalistani cowards until they are hunted down and destroyed. And now we've got exclusive images of Amritpal Singh, the Khalistani thug fleeing from the police just a few days ago. Amritpal Singh can be seen in these pictures with that pink pagdi, fleeing on a motorcycle. He's covered his beard. Obviously, the coward does not want to be, recognized or noticed because his face has otherwise been splashed across the media for many days together ever since his, attempt at a rebellion. Well, shortly after India Today accessed images of this terrorist leader fleeing in disguise, India Today has now accessed another images of his changed look, which he used to escape. This is a clear image of Amritpal Singh wearing a pink turban, covering his beard and a part of his face with a cloth so he cannot be recognized, on there a motorcycle with another person and fleeing. Arvind Oja, who's accessed these images, is with us live. Arvind, इस तस्वीर के बारे में बताइए, अमृतपाल कहाँ है और इस तस्वीर में क्या-क्या दिखता है?
देखिए, सबसे पहले आपको बताऊं कि इंडिया टुडे ने इसके पहले एक पिक्चर चलाया था जिसमें दिखाया था अपने व्यूवर्स को, जिसमें प्लेटिना बाइक में जो अमृतपाल है वो भागता हुआ दिखाई दे रहा है, पीछे की तरफ बैठा है, जबकि ये एक बुलेट बाइक है। पहले प्लेटिना बाइक में बैठकर अमृतपाल भागता हुआ दिखाई देता है। 10 से 12 किलोमीटर दूर जाने के बाद वो बाइक को चेंज करता है, बुलेट बाइक में बैठता है। पहले पीछे की तरफ बैठा होता था, लेकिन अब इस पिक्चर में जो इंडिया टुडे ने एक्सक्लूसिवली एक्सेस किया है, इसमें अगर आप देखेंगे तो खुद बुलेट जो बाइक है वो अमृतपाल चला रहा है। पिंक कलर की इसने पगड़ी पहनी हुई है, पैंट शर्ट पहले ये पहना हुआ था और ये बुलेट बाइक चला रहा है और फेस नहीं दिखे, इस वजह से इसने अपना फेस ढका हुआ है। पीछे की तरफ इसके 2 एसोसिएट बैठे हुए हैं। तो ये पुलिस से बचने के लिए अमृतपाल जो कुछ दिनों पहले तक पंजाब में रहकर अलग खालिस्तान की मांग करता था, जब एजेंसीज ने शिकंजा कसा तो कैसे ये एक के बाद एक पुलिस को चकमा देने की कोशिश कर रहा है। पहले प्लेटिनम बाइक है, उस पर बैठता है, पीछे की तरफ 10 से 12 किलोमीटर दूर जाता है, बाइक चेंज करता है, बुलेट बाइक में बैठता है और खुद वो बाइक चलाता है। ये इमेज इंडिया टुडे ने एक्सक्लूसिवली एक्सेस किया है। अभी भी जो अमृतपाल है वो पंजाब पुलिस से बचता हुआ भाग रहा है और पंजाब पुलिस लगातार इसका पीछा कर रही है। शिव।
अरविंद, हमारे साथ बने रहिए। ललित, माय कॉलीग, इज स्पीकिंग टू द इंस्पेक्टर जनरल ऑफ पुलिस ऑफ पंजाब। लेट्स लिसन।
वहाँ पुलिस की तरफ से चल रहे हैं। 4 लोग हमने और अरेस्ट किए हैं आज, जो मनप्रीत सिंह एलियस मन्ना, गुरदीप दीपा, गुरबेज बेजा और एक हरप्रीत एलियस हैप्पी। ये चारों लोग वो हैं जिन्होंने ब्रेजा गाड़ी में उसको वहाँ से, जब पुलिस उसको अरेस्ट करने लगी थी, वहाँ से दौड़ने में मदद की है। तो ब्रेजा गाड़ी जिसमें वो एस्केप किया था, उसमें वो गाड़ी रिकवर हो चुकी है। इनकी जो फर्दर जो इंटेरोगेशन है उसमें ये चीज़ सामने आई कि वहाँ से ये एक गुरुद्वारा साहब है नंगल अंबिया, वहाँ पे गए हैं। गुरुद्वारा में जाके उसने अमृतपाल ने कपड़े चेंज किए हैं, पैंट और शर्ट डाली। वहाँ से फिर 2 मोटरसाइकिल्स पे ये एस्केप किए वहाँ से। फर्दर हमारी इन्वेस्टिगेशन चल रही है इसमें।
गिल साहब, कोई इम्पोर्टेंट लीड और मिली हो इस पूरे मामले को लेकर? क्योंकि बताया जा रहा है, आपने बताया कि बाइक पे उसके आगे फरार हुए, बाइक को लेकर कोई जानकारी अभी मिली है?
देखिए, ये सारा इन्वेस्टिगेशन का है, पूरी एक इसमें लगातार हमारी इन्वेस्टिगेशन जारी है। जो भी चेन में कुछ भी आ रहा है उस पर हम एक्शन भी ले रहे हैं और फर्दर हमारे पास बहुत सारे क्लूज हैं, इस पे हम लगे हुए हैं।
पंजाब पुलिस को हमेशा से माना जाता है कि बहुत ब्रेव पुलिस है, लगातार बॉर्डर एरिया को लगातार गार्ड करती रहती है, लेकिन जिस तरह से ये तमाम चीजें हुई है, अमृतपाल एस्केप हो जाता है, तो कई तरह के सवाल है पंजाब पुलिस के ऊपर भी खड़े हो रहे हैं। इंटेलिजेंस फेलियर का भी सवाल है, वो उठ रहा है।
देखिए, इस स्थिति में तो पंजाब पुलिस ने बहुत अच्छा काम किया, बल्कि सारे पंजाब में सारे लोगों की तरफ से ऑनरेबल सीएम साहब को फोन आ रहे हैं, उन्होंने धन्यवाद किया है सीएम साहब का। और इस केस में भी जो अब तक एक्शन हुआ है बहुत इफेक्टिव हुआ है और फर्दर पूरी स्टेट में बिल्कुल स्थिति जो है स्टेबल है, शांति है पंजाब में, और उसी को हम बरकरार रखेंगे। इस चीज
हाई कोर्ट में आज जो एफिडेविट दिया गया, काफी लताड़ है वो लगाई गई है कि इंटेलिजेंस फेलियर हुआ, इतनी पुलिस 8000 पुलिस कर्मचारी तैनात थे, फिर भी वो एस्केप कर गया।
देखिए, वो हमारे लिए गाइडेंस है, तो हम लोग ऑलरेडी एफर्ट्स कर रहे हैं इसको अरेस्ट करने।
सर, जॉर्जिया में किसी तरह की ट्रेनिंग है, पहले आईएसआई के साथ अमृतपाल की हुई है, इस तरह के भी कोई सबूत मिले हैं?
नहीं, देखिए, ये सारी इन्वेस्टिगेशन का पार्ट है, अभी इतनी माइन्यूट डिटेल्स हैं, वो अभी स्टेज पे शेयर नहीं की जा सकती।
ठीक है, तो ये थे हमारे साथ आईजी सुखचैन सिंघल, जिनका साफ तौर पर यही कहना है कि
अरविंद कंटिन्यूज टू बी विद अस। अरविंद, पंजाब पुलिस के मुताबिक अमृतपाल सिंह रफली लगभग कहां है अभी और कितना टाइम लग सकता है उसको पकड़ने में?
देखिए, जो सोर्सेस हैं उनके अलग अलग क्लेम हैं। जो इंडिया टुडे को हमारे एक सोर्स ने ये बताया कि बहुत मुमकिन है कि पहले दिन ही वो पंजाब से बाहर किसी दूसरे स्टेट में दाखिल हो चुका होगा अमृतपाल। लेकिन अब जो बाइक लगातार बाइक की से ट्रैक किया जा रहा है, सीसीटीवी फुटेज, जो सीसीटीवी फुटेज में बाइक से वो भागता दिखाई दे रहा है, वो जलंधर से दूसरे रूट की तरफ भागता हुआ दिखाई दे रहा है। लेकिन सोर्सेस का यही क्लेम है कि बहुत मुमकिन है कि पंजाब से दूसरे स्टेट में दाखिल हो चुका है अमृतपाल, और शायद यही वजह है कि लगातार जो सीसीटीवी है उसकी मैपिंग की जा रही है और उसके आधार पर अमृतपाल को अरेस्ट करने की कोशिश पंजाब पुलिस कर रही है। इंडिया टुडे को सोर्सेज ने सुबह ही बता दिया था कि बाइक से वो भाग रहा है, पहले ब्रेजा कार का इस्तेमाल किया, और प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में पंजाब पुलिस ने इंडिया टुडे की खबर पर मोहर भी लगाई। उन्होंने बताया कि ब्रेजा कार का, मर्सिडीज कार को छोड़कर ब्रेजा कार का उसने इस्तेमाल किया और बाइक से भाग रहा है। आखिर बार उसको देखा गया है और बाइक से भागते हुए की दोनों ही पिक्चर्स वो इंडिया टुडे के पास है। पहले प्लेटिना बाइक पे सवार होकर पीछे की तरफ वो बैठता है और उसके बाद 10 से 12 किलोमीटर दूर वो बाइक चेंज करता है, बुलेट में सवार होता है और खुद बुलेट को ड्राइव करता है, जिसकी तस्वीरें शिव हम दिखा रहे हैं एक्सक्लूसिव इंडिया टुडे पर।
Thank you, Arvind, for getting us those exclusive pictures. We'll continue to track it very, very closely. In the United Kingdom, now openly a safe haven for anti-India groups. Is the United Kingdom now a safe haven for anti-India groups and forces? For the next couple of minutes, let's strictly talk facts, viewer, and then you decide. Over the weekend, a group of Khalistani goons vandalized the Indian embassy in London and removed the Indian flag. Everyone saw that. So far, most of the British government, including Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, is silent. But the thugs responsible were emboldened by the fact that almost no deterrent action has been taken against groups in past acts of violence pointed at the Indian embassy in London. On Independence Day a few years ago, terrorists from the Hizbul Tahrir, a UK-based Kashmiri separatist group, attacked Indian community members with eggs and water bottles. The protests involved the burning of the Indian flag and even some breakage at the Indian embassy. Not only did the London police stop at arresting just 4 of those thugs, the British Foreign Office described it as an overwhelmingly peaceful protest. In July 2019, aircraft flying an anti-India banner on Kashmir flew over the India-Sri Lanka World Cup clash venue in the UK. This couldn't have happened without a great deal of planning and execution by separatist groups and local flying clubs. Who knows, maybe even the office of the mayor. That's how it could have been planned, who knows. Go back a year earlier. A banned Khalistani separatist group, Sikhs for Justice, held protests at Trafalgar Square in London. The British government's position was that a peaceful demonstration of views is within British law, and thus rejected a request from the Indian government to prohibit that event. Those who remember know that the same protest permitted by British law called for arms and violence that directly instigated separatist Sikhs to rise up against the Indian government. In March 2019, the Overseas Pakistanis Welfare Council and Sikhs for Justice protested against India on London streets, attacking members of the Friends of India Society. The men wearing Sikh turbans raised slogans which were distinctly not Sikh by nature. No action has been taken against them so far. Websites and accounts of many pro-Pakistan separatist outfits like the United Kashmir People's National Party, Tehreek-e-Kashmir, Hizbul Tahrir operate freely in the UK despite them being banned elsewhere. Any attempt to raise questions on these groups in the past has been warded off by British politicians, constrained not by what is right, but by the electoral demography of their constituencies. It is this prostitution of politics at the micro level that has permitted the UK to become over time a safe haven for groups that wish to harm India. Post-Brexit, everyone knows the UK has lost much of its earlier direction. Not being able to reclaim past glory or live up to its past name weighs very heavily on a country that fights to justify its influence and existence at the geopolitical high table. British parliamentarians, save but a few, have been reduced to rudderless chickens, willing to raise funds and appease just about anyone to stay in office. And the demography of the United Kingdom means these are largely anti-India groups and outfits. Remember that not for a moment is this to suggest that these are whole communities. But British politicians frequently bow to these extremist forces, thereby painting entire communities with their brushes. Let's not forget the UK's stand on an informal consultation on the UN Security Council, a move sponsored by China over India's abrogation of Article 370 a few years ago. We don't know what happened in those closed-door consultations, but there are reports that suggest that the UK pretty much delivered a view that China and Pakistan would have been pleased with. Only the US and France were firmly in opposition. As a permanent member of the UN Security Council, the UK has demonstrated a visibly deteriorating political culture, and as it is so happens so often, that culture impinges on Indian national security. Don't forget how the UK continues to play paradise to Indian millionaire escapees like Vijay Mallya and Nirav Modi. The usual explanations over extradition law, etc., evaporate in the light of everything I've just described, don't they? In the 1980s, then Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi had imposed costs on the UK by withholding billions of dollars in exports, forcing his British counterpart Margaret Thatcher to crack down on separatist Sikhs. Times have most certainly changed, but India's stature has risen immeasurably since then. And if India does not consider imposing costs on the UK for its steady, sustained and committed support of anti-India forces, then it must make its peace with the UK as a safe haven for potential terror groups in the future. Literally, the price tag for friendship needs to go up by many multiples. The United Kingdom's slide towards Pakistan, the world's largest exporter of global terror, a country that was a haven for Osama bin Laden, a country that stands back and watches its terrorists butcher its own children, is a slide that India cannot take in its stride. Our relations with the United Kingdom require a top-down review. There's no question diplomacy is a complex issue, hardly black and white, and nothing is as simple as I'm probably making it sound. But what I've just done is give you the facts. It is no longer about whether India should or will act. But when? That's a wrap on 5 Live. Thanks so much for watching. Coming up next, 6 p.m. Prime, the ongoing deadlock in Parliament is the big focus with Akshata next.
Hello, Kia. Open the sunroof, please. Sunroof opening. Zoom, zoom, vroom, vroom. Zoom, zoom, wee.
Open sunroof.
Zoom, zoom, vroom, vroom. And a wee.
Designed so unique, everyone is inspired. Kia, movement that inspires.
हर माता पिता अपने बच्चे के उज्जवल भविष्य का सपना देखते हैं। अपने बच्चे के बेहतर भविष्य के लिए उनकी यही कोशिश रहती है कि उनके बच्चे देश के सबसे शानदार स्कूलों में पढ़ाई करें, जहां उन्हें बेहतरीन सुविधाएं और शिक्षा का स्तर मिले। अक्सर इस सपने को साकार करने के लिए माता पिता को निजी स्कूलों का भारी भरकम खर्च उठाना पड़ता है और अपने बच्चे के भविष्य के लिए अपनी मेहनत की कमाई का बड़ा हिस्सा लगाना पड़ता है। लेकिन पंजाब में ऐसा नहीं होगा, क्योंकि मुख्यमंत्री भगवंत मान के नेतृत्व
को पावर्ड बाय घर लेना हो या बेचना 99 एकड़ से ही पूछना। आदित्य बिरला सन लाइफ इंश्योरेंस, इससे जरूरी कुछ भी नहीं। रिलायंस डिजिटल पर्सनलाइजिंग टेक्नोलॉजी।
Hello and good evening. You're watching 6 p.m. Prime here on India Today. I'm Akshata Nandagopal. We've got a packed 1 hour for you, from the latest of what's happening in Parliament to an exclusive conversation with Rana Daggubati on the success of Rana Naidu. We've got you covered with all the latest news. Let's begin with the headlines. India Today accesses exclusive images of separatist leader Amritpal on the run. Images show him fleeing in a Mercedes and then riding pillion on a bike in disguise. NIA intensifies hunt. Khalistani thugs on a rampage in Canada. Kejriwal, Indian High Commissioner at an event in Surrey, attacked the organizer of the pro-India event as well. Centre gives nod to Delhi's annual budget after Kejriwal writes a letter to Prime Minister against stalling of budget. Kejriwal taunts the Lieutenant Governor, says let him run the national capital. After Rahul alleges every institution compromised, BJP compares Rahul to Mir Jafar, calls him a traitor.
नहीं है कि राहुल गांधी बिना माफी मांगे निकल जाएंगे। माफी तो उन्हें मांगना ही पड़ेगा। हम मंगवा के ही रहेंगे।
Opposition guns for centre after Interpol red corner notice against Mehul Choksi is revoked. AAP and Congress accuse the Modi government of protecting the fugitive. And Japanese Prime Minister Kishida arrives in Kyiv, set to meet Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky. Kishida says Japan stands in solidarity with Ukraine. And let's begin by getting you a roundup of what happened in Parliament, which essentially is nothing, because every time Parliament came together, was in session, it was a matter of minutes of non-stop hangama as the opposition staged protests demanding a discussion on Adani. The BJP, on the other hand, was protesting, demanding an apology from Rahul Gandhi. As a result of the stalemate and this bickering between the government and the opposition, since last week, there's been no business that's actually happened in Parliament.
Another predictable day of protest in Parliament. The Narendra Modi government persisted with its demand for an apology from Congress MP Rahul Gandhi for his remarks on the state of democracy while he was in the UK. The opposition is keeping the heat on the Modi government over the Adani stock crisis, demanding a joint parliamentary committee probe into the vexed issue. In a new mode of protest, the opposition parties also hung banners from the parliament corridor targeting the government.
पूरे संसद का, पूरे सदन का आज विपक्ष ने फिर एक बार अपमान किया है। बात ना हो, एक वीक विकेट पे कोई खड़ा हो, तभी इस प्रकार के हल्के कारनामे सुर्खियों में बने रहने के लिए विपक्ष आज कर रहा है।
The BJP on Tuesday compared Rahul to Mir Jafar, whose defection to the British side had helped the East India Company win the Battle of Plassey and take control of Bengal.
Rahul Gandhi is the present day Mir Jafar of Indian polity. जो उन्होंने लंदन में किया है वो ठीक वही किया है। शहजादा नवाब बनना चाहता है और शहजादे ने ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी की मदद मांगी है नवाब बनने के लिए।
The Congress, equally defiant, has ruled out any apology by its MP.
देखो, ये माफी मांगने का तो सवाल नहीं है, बार बार वो पूछते रहेंगे, हम उसको नकारते रहेंगे।
ये पहली बार इस प्रकार से जाके लंदन में कह रहे हो हिंदुस्तान की डेमोक्रेसी के खिलाफ, ऐसा नहीं है। और ऐसा भी नहीं है कि राहुल गांधी बिना माफी मांगे निकल जाएंगे। माफी तो उन्हें मांगना ही पड़ेगा, हम मंगवा के ही रहेंगे।
राहुल गांधी जी अगर जब आते तक खलबली मच जाते तो वो नहीं चाहते कि राहुल गांधी जी आए, और क्षमा अगर किसी को मांगना है तो सबसे पहले प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी को मांगना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि विदेश की जमीन पे अगर हिंदुस्तान को कोई प्रधानमंत्री, ऐसा कोई प्रधानमंत्री है हिंदुस्तान में जो छोटा किया, नीच किया, अपमान किया, कलंकित किया, तो वो नरेंद्र मोदी जी है।
Rahul Gandhi has written to Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla to allow him to explain his remarks in Parliament. He is not backing down, as is evident from his unsparing attacks on the Modi government.
And the truth is, the RSS, the BJP and the Prime Minister of India are attacking the idea and the institutions of India. And I will say it again and again and again and again.
Amid the fierce face-off between the government and the opposition, the second leg of the monsoon session is heading towards a washout, and no attempt is being made to salvage it. Bureau Report, India Today.
The Delhi budget was presented today, but once again we saw the same old drama playing out of the Chief Minister versus the Lieutenant Governor. And we saw an unusually aggressive Arvind Kejriwal taking on the BJP, taking on the central government, and particularly the Lieutenant Governor over the fact that you had an impasse over the budget playing out since yesterday. Remember that the LG had refused to clear the budget, questioning ad spends by the government. Kejriwal has responded, launching a scathing attack against the BJP. Taking a dig at the centre, Kejriwal said they wanted me to bow down and that it was their ego that was targeting me. Kejriwal, in a direct message to Modi, said if the Prime Minister wishes to win Delhi, he will have to win the hearts of the people of the capital first. This comes after the MHA had asked the Delhi government to resubmit the budget, addressing the LG's concerns regarding the budget for ads being more than that of infrastructure.
बजट के अंदर 20,000 करोड़ तो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर पे है, 500 करोड़ एडवर्टाइजिंग पे है। अब ये 520,000 से ज्यादा होता है, ये तो हमने नहीं सुना था। इन्होंने ऊपर से लेके नीचे तक अनपढ़ों की जमात बिठा रखी है, पूरी की पूरी अनपढ़ों की जमात बिठा रखी है। पढ़े लिखे लोगों को बिठाओ वहां पे, ताकि वो कम से कम बजट पढ़ने की क्षमता तो रखते हो। पता नहीं किसको दे दिया आपने बजट। पहली बार ये परंपरा जो है इसको तोड़ा गया। उन्होंने ऑब्जेक्शन लगा के भेजे, ऑब्जर्वेशंस लगा के भेजे, वही अपने आप में असंवैधानिक था। लेकिन हमें लड़ना नहीं है, हम लड़ना नहीं चाहते, हम यहाँ लड़ने नहीं आए, हम काम करने आए हैं। उन्होंने जो ऑब्जर्वेशन लिखे हैं, 4 ऑब्जर्वेशन थे, चारों का हमने जवाब लिखा। कोई चेंज नहीं किया बजट में, सेम बजट। ईगो थी, आज वापस आ गया, बजट अप्रूव हो गया। उनको तकलीफ ही है कि दिल्ली में बार बार आम आदमी पार्टी क्यों जीत रही है। उनको तकलीफ ही है कि बार बार दिल्ली में बीजेपी क्यों हार रही है। मैं प्रधानमंत्री जी को कहना चाहता हूं कि अगर आप दिल्ली जीतना चाहते हो तो मैं आज आपको मंत्र देता हूं दिल्ली जीतने का। दिल्ली जीतने के लिए आपको दिल्ली के लोगों का दिल जीतना पड़ेगा।
So this isn't the first time that the Aam Aadmi Party has come under scrutiny, particularly over the expenditure and the budget they've allocated for advertisements. Let's tell you the data that's come in over the last many years, how there's been an increase and a surge in their ad expenses. It starts with 2018 to 2019, when it was just 46 crore rupees. Then between 2019 to 2020, it went up from 46 crores, believe it or not, to 200 crores. And then it continued to steeply rise. From 2020 to 2021, it reached 293 crore. And there you have the last data, 2021 to 2022, where the number went right up to 489 crores. So believe it or not, from 2018, when it was 46 crores, it's reached 489 crores if you look at the 2021-2022 data. And with that, I'm slipping into a short break here on 6 p.m. Prime. Coming up on the other side is my conversation with Rana Daggubati and the entire team of Rana Naidu after the stupendous success that they've tasted. We're getting you that exclusive conversation with me and Nabila in just a minute.
Yes, they're electric, among other wonderful things. Going anywhere, they will take you far. The fully electric Audi e-tron models.
आप मुझे बचाने आए हो?
हाँ, और बताने भी आया हूँ कि निश्चित आयुष लाइफ इंश्योरेंस प्लान में इन्वेस्ट करने पर अगले साल से मिलेगी गारंटीड इनकम पूरे 40 सालों तक।
कॉल नाउ, इससे जरूरी कुछ भी नहीं।
Don't let water go down the drain. Make it circulate again. Embrace the circular economy for a sustainable water domain to reuse and regenerate this precious resource. This World Water Day, be the change you want to see in the world. Join the fight for a sustainable future and help ensure that everyone has access to clean, safe water. Ion Exchange India presents Drops of Change at these times only on India Today Television.
हिमालय की गोद से लेकर केरला के बैकवाटर्स तक हमारे फैमिली ने इतना घूमा कि हम और घूमना चाहते हैं। थैंक्स टू माय क्लब महिंद्रा मेंबरशिप जो मुझे देता है 80 से भी ज्यादा रिसोर्ट्स और 2000 से भी ज्यादा एक्सपीरियंसेस का मजा। क्यों है ना क्लब महिंद्रा मेंबरशिप फैमिली के लिए एक मस्ट चॉइस। क्लब महिंद्रा, वी कवर इंडिया, यू डिस्कवर इंडिया।
Express your style with a powerful new C3 Turbo today.
100% happiness with SBI Home Loans. Zero processing fee at 8.50% onwards. Apply today. Call 1800112018. Visit homeloans.sbi.
युवा शक्ति किसी भी देश, राज्य और समाज के विकास की धुरी। युवा शक्ति को सही दिशा और उनके जोश, उनके सपनों को सही मार्गदर्शन और सहारा मिले तो खुलती है प्रगति और खुशहाली की नई राहें। वर्ष 2023-24 के बजट में मुख्यमंत्री जी द्वारा की गई घोषणाएं राज्य के युवाओं के उज्जवल भविष्य के निर्माण के लिए बनेंगी नींव का पत्थर। उनके सपनों को देंगी नई उड़ान और उन्हें देंगी एक नई पहचान। 500 करोड़ रुपए का युवा विकास एवं कल्याण कोष, मुख्यमंत्री अनुप्रति कोचिंग योजना। गत वर्ष 15,000 युवाओं को मिली मुफ्त कोचिंग। इस वर्ष 30,000 युवाओं को मिलेगा मुफ्त कोचिंग का लाभ। प्रदेश के युवाओं के लिए सभी भर्ती परीक्षाएं अब होंगी निशुल्क।
युवाओं को आधुनिक तकनीक वाले स्टार्टअप व उद्योग लगाने के लिए 250 करोड़ रुपए की राशि से राजस्थान वेंचर कैपिटल फंड, उच्च स्तरीय रिसर्च और डेवलपमेंट कोर्सेज के लिए APJ अब्दुल कलाम इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी, सिविल एविएशन के क्षेत्र में राजीव गांधी एविएशन यूनिवर्सिटी, खनिज एवं पेट्रोलियम क्षेत्र के लिए खुलेगी माइनिंग यूनिवर्सिटी, युवाओं को इनोवेशन के लिए प्रेरित करेगा राजीव गांधी इनोवेशन चैलेंज। इसमें श्रेष्ठ इनोवेशन करने वाले युवाओं के लिए 35 करोड़ रुपए के कुल 100 पुरस्कार। इस वर्ष 500 होनहार युवाओं को मिलेगा विदेश के उच्च शिक्षण संस्थानों में अध्ययन का अवसर। युवा हितों के प्रति संवेदनशील और जागरूक है राजस्थान सरकार। युवा सपनों को मिल रही उड़ान, समृद्ध हो रहा राजस्थान।
जी बचा लिए। पॉलिसी बाजार में कार इंश्योरेंस में पैसे बचा लिए।
पॉलिसी बाजार पे कार इंश्योरेंस कंपेयर करके खरीदो और 8,000 रुपए तक बचाओ।
आ रहे हो ना शाम नू वीना दे घर। वीना का यहाँ लो जी ए निकल जाते फोन है आजकल तो सब व्हाट्सएप पे इनविटेशन देते हैं।
अरे मेरा कोई फोन साइलेंट पे कर दो यार।
मैं कर देती हूँ।
नहीं माँ, कॉल रिसीव हो जाएगा। विनीता प्लीज पुट माय फोन ऑन साइलेंट ना।
मैं कर दूं माँ जी।
उलझन है कोई खामखा या डर से हारी है।
ट्राई करिए मैम, टेक्नोलॉजी तो खेलने के लिए ही है, खेलते खेलते सीख जाएंगे।
रिलायंस डिजिटल आइए और टेक्नोलॉजी से अपनी दोस्ती बढ़ाइए। हम आपका इंतजार कर रहे हैं। रिलायंस डिजिटल, टेक्नोलॉजी से रिश्ता जोड़ो।
Had to do so much of drama. That's when my loan got approved.
Mummy na is bluffing. Mummy logged into Bob World and got a loan approved in 30 minutes.
Just upload your documents and get loan approval in 30 minutes. Bank of Baroda Home Loans. Loans without drama.
हेलो।
बड़ा कांड हो गया है, फट रही है। राणा प्लीज तुम्हें सॉर्ट कर सकते हो?
पता है, कोई भी सेलिब्रिटी को प्रॉब्लम होता है सबसे पहले तेरे को फोन जाता है।
Well, if you just take the idea of a problem solver, I like solving problems.
Yeah. Fixer for the stars. राणा नायडू नाम हर दूसरे बॉलीवुड स्कैंडल में आता है। हमारे यहाँ तो कहते हैं कि अगर राणा जुड़ा है तो स्कैंडल बड़ा है।
It was much more harder than I thought it was because I just never understood character graphs that can be so long.
तेरे को इधर नहीं आना चाहिए था नागा। नाना नहीं बोलेगा मेरे को, बाप हो तेरा।
The chemistry that we spoke about with both of you, the chemistry of Rana and Naga Naidu, is something I found very interesting.
As long as both of us were trying to put a film together, we didn't want to do things of the cliche.
नित्या मेरे को ये मोमबत्ती का स्टोरी बताई, बोली ये वाला फैमिली के लिए है।
There's a new series on the block that everyone's talking about. Rana Naidu has taken the country by storm, and here on this India Today special with me, Navila, is the entire team of Rana Naidu. First, we have our own Desi Ray Donovan, aka Rana Naidu, aka Rana Daggubati, joining us here in the studio. We also have, of course, the beautiful, lovely Surveen Chawla, whose role has been really a breakthrough in the series, and the makers of this amazing project, Suparn and Karan Anshuman, joining us here at the studios. Thank you very much, all of you, and a big congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. The studio. Let me take the first question. Why Rana Naidu?
Why Rana Naidu, as in why the title or why this show?
Yeah, why the title around Rana Daggubati? They've somehow managed to retain your maiden name. I can imagine, maybe because of the popularity you have.
No, I actually thought it was a working title for the longest time. So this usually happens in Telugu. Every time we have a script and they don't have a character's name, they just use...
They put the actor's name, the number of the film and
keep going. Right? I thought it's one of those till it didn't. It was real. So it's very meta for me in many, many ways, this show.
It's also just a powerful name. It can't get better than Rana.
Yeah, we just wanted a very sort of, something that was set a high standard, very exalted. And I just looked up and there's Rana at 6'3". I was like, let's just call it Rana.
As expected, as expected. But whose idea was it to name it Rana Naidu?
Rana.
No. No.
His contract said if the show is not called Rana.
I'm not on board.
Supan, being the docile guy, would have said, okay, I agree with what you say.
I think I'd say 90% I believe what Rana is saying. Because I saw you off stage.
6'4",
I met you
of
off
a man. When he talks, we listen.
No, but Ray Donovan, that's almost the character that you've essayed to perfection in this series. We see that the series now is on the top of the top 10 list on Netflix. How difficult was it for Rana to essay that character, which was so well received by the masses?
See, this is the first time I'm doing a show, anything long form, anything beyond 2.5 hours. This was the first time I got it. It was much more harder than I thought it was because I just never understood character graphs that can be so long. I'm always an actor who's been in 60 or 80 scenes, and here suddenly you have to be in 300 of them. So that length was the only confusing part, but I started growing to really like and enjoy it because there was no way I could explore a character this deep, this dark. He's called Rana, but it's actually the exact opposite of what Rana is in terms of his understanding of family or a personality itself.
But are you like him in real life at all?
No, I'm not like him really. If you just take the idea of a problem solver, I like solving problems.
Yeah, I was just...
that much. But then in the sense of the legal world and the family drama that I understand is like a happy South Indian joint family that's...
Like your Telugu films.
Yeah. That's what I get. But here I met these two gentlemen that just stirred the dark side on me.
Tell us about your journey in this series. How did you come on board? Your character also is a pretty amazing one with such a growth through the entire series.
Yes. So I remember I'd seen Ray Donovan long ago, and Karan actually brought this idea to me, and he really wanted me to play Naina, and I think I went along with his conviction because in a lot of ways I feel like, so in the past I've had all the parts that I've played across my career where I kind of relate to them more than I would probably find the dissimilarities between me. So here was a part where I had fewer points of similarity, but far more in terms of her personality and where she is in her life and the kind of choices she's made and the kind of sacrifice. So I felt like there was a disconnect there, and that kind of drew me
it pushed you.
Yeah, it pushed me to do something that I probably, while playing Naina, would have to convince myself for. And I think that was the challenge that I really wanted to take up. And of course, Karan was extremely convinced that I would be able to do justice. And I hope I have.
And you did. Naila also was saying she loved your look.
The look of, the several looks that you essay, the series itself, you look so stunning, and really.
I should not be taking that compliment.
Being a mommy has really nothing to do with how stunning you are and how stunning you look.
Thank you. But I think that credit has to go to
all stereotypes.
Oh, thank you.
Crushed it rather.
Thank you.
And so, Ray, from where you started, Hate Story, the meaty roles that you got post that. Usually we see women, glamorous women, being typecast, but I think even there you've set your precedence.
I think I did go through a phase where I kind of felt like I'm getting boxed, and that's when I started to feel like, okay, you know what, now was a time to say more no's than yeses. And that eventually, now where I'm at, I think that message has been pretty loud and clear from my end, not intentionally, but it has so happened that when I'm thought of for something as Naina or as meaty or I think I kind of have somewhere I feel like I have crossed that, that bridge where I would not want to repeat a part, or I would not want to repeat an experience as an actor that I've had on set playing a part anymore. And well, I try my best to kind of
she's just being humble. It's all.
I agree.
It's her talent. It's her talent and her range. Her talent
This is
and
the
her
part where we
range.
all say no, come on.
You know, but saying more no's than yeses, that's really it's quite a tricky place that you are in at this point when you want to see your career thrive. You don't know where to say no and what to say yes to, but I think you've made your choices right. With
I don't know,
Rana
actually, there then came a time when I started doing that. There came a time when roles actually pick you more than it's the other way around. I truly believe that it truly does happen that way.
Your chemistry with Rana
Dagubati. Choosing making the right choices again and again. Good karma, being attracted.
For sure, for sure.
Surveen's chemistry with Rana in Rana Naidu. Real and real, both actually, we'd like to hear.
Michael,
Looking at you.
I don't know. I look at you.
Yes, I have a question to both, I think.
Yeah, both.
Yeah.
Why do you start?
I think we've hit it off really well from day one, if I may say so. And we may had some great conversations. We chatted a lot, and
Rana agrees, right?
Rana is
There was silence from this end.
So this whole image that you have of this 6 feet 3, 4 is nothing like who Rana is really as this person.
He's a lamb.
Don't you agree with me?
No, he's nothing like Rana Naidu.
Absolutely not.
And the chemistry was absolute dynamite. I mean, you should ask us because we were witnessing it as it was happening, and it's very rare to actually see this. It's, you know, contrary to popular belief, it's always rare to have your two leads like getting along like fire. You know,
very organically.
Yeah, very organically on camera, and even like in those bits which are off, you know, while you're prepping for the shoot day or, you know, or in rehearsals. So all that came across wonderfully, and I'm so glad that we were there to witness it and see that magic sparkle and take it well beyond the script.
I think what was also tricky, you want to say something?
No, I'm very clear.
I think what was
tricky?
I think what was tricky was that we were playing a couple who's probably spent 15-18 years together, and that's where the show starts. So to kind of convince ourselves and the audiences that this couple really has been through life with 2 kids, life happening to them together, and that's your takeoff point. So
we've spoken about Naina, we've spoken about Rana, Naga Naidu, Venkatesh Garu.
Yes.
We really wish he was here with us. I really wish he had joined us. But how did that come along? Because, you know, when I see Telugu films, when I see Venkatesh Garu, his image is very different from what you see in Rana Naidu. So why is it, Suparn, that you felt he fits in perfectly for this series? Because when I saw it and I saw this transformation, I could no longer remember the Venkatesh Garu that I know. How did he come into this series?
So I think, honestly, Rana is the one luckily responsible for it. Because when he decided to come on board, he shared the show with Venki sir, who was ready to do something unique and different and break all images that he had done before, number one. And because he was excited by it and he came on board, it gave a layer that Karan and I were discussing earlier to the character of Naga Naidu, which is the original is, you know he's a badass.
Yeah.
With Naga, you end up loving him and keep questioning yourself, should I be hating him or loving him?
Yeah.
And that's the magic of Venkatesh Garu, who brings it with his image and then plays around with your mind. He's not doing very good things at times.
No, so yeah, I agree. The chemistry that we spoke about both of you, the chemistry of Rana and Naga Naidu is something I found very interesting. He's your uncle.
Yes.
And then you have to translate that into a father-son relationship, and one where you hate him.
Yes, correct. So just to continue with what Suparn said, I think my uncle also was in a time where he wanted to reinvent. And like you said, this is the image that you have of him. What's that? Like there's an image that you have of him where most stories...
It's like a perfect family hero.
And see, most stories are revolving around that. And for him as an actor, he really wanted to reinvent and do something new. And I think this is what we got. And also, as long as both of us were trying to put a film together, we didn't want to do things of the cliche. Like usually when somebody is related in the entertainment world, there's a very standard cliche that kind of gets in. So we wanted to cross it. And I feel like we really crossed a lot of cliches in this.
But has the dynamic changed now between the two of you?
No,
After playing father-son and that to this kind of a father-son?
Well, it's, I guess it's the most entertaining, no, as actors, and this is what we live for. To do things that we can do in real life or that we don't understand in real life. I think for both me and him, who are part of a joint family that's fully all the time happy together and doing things, this was
a way to break the ice, or break away from your comfort.
Break away from this comfort.
You know, I have that question to Karan. Now, South really is the flavor, all right? With Triple R winning the Oscars for Best Original Song, and you had a lot more coming from the South, breaking records on global platforms. You had Venkatesh, you have Rana Daggupati in a series called Rana Naidu. Was there a theme before you rolled the series out that you want to predominantly feature people from the South? Because that's possibly the
Yes, I think we are sort of in the business of, you know, this of sort of predicting trends in terms of what's happening and what's new. I have always consistently tried to sort of preempt.
Yeah.
And when we started writing this series, which took about 6 months to put together with 4 other writers, it was, you know, I think the idea of bringing in the flavor from the South and sort of melding it into something larger and more pan-India that, of course, Rana has a lot of experience with from before. But in the series space, I thought this was something new that we could try. And we just sort of, you know, went straight with it and into it.
And was Rana your first choice? I wouldn't doubt
it. It all sort of happened together where Rana and Venki sir and, you know, our producer, it all sort of happened all at the same time, where I also came on board around the same time. So,
one thing that made headlines about this series, Karan and Suparn, is there was a lot of talk about whether it's a bit too out there. You know, there were questions about whether this is vulgar, whether it's offensive, etc. Were you a little worried about that you would offend the quintessential conservative Indian?
So 2 things. One, from day one of promotions, we have been saying this is a family show, which you do not watch with your family. It is an A-rated show, number 2. And the fact is this, that the class of characters shown in the show, the place where they're coming from, this is how they would speak authentically. You know, OTT platforms, by nature, make different things for different people.
Agreed.
It's not the same, you know, size fits all. So this is an adult show made for an adult audience, indicated from day one by us, and we never mean to offend, we always mean to entertain, and that's been our goal from day one. We are not here to create controversy, we are not here to offend anybody. We want to tell you stories which go for the heart. And Rana Naidu, I mean, now that people have seen the show, we can actually openly talk about it. It addresses a very, you know, deep emotional issue of child abuse in our show, in a very sensitive manner. And it takes you into the layers of characters who are broken and into a family that's dysfunctional, and there's a reason for it. And we go into those stories. So bottom line is, we never mean to sensationalize. And I mean, we are proud of the kind of storytelling that we are getting to do in the age of the golden age of storytelling. So, you know, it's the best time to be.
You spoke of golden age of storytelling, absolutely. I think with OTT, you have artists thrown out there from different backgrounds without any, you know, movie, a godfather backing him or her in the industry, and yet with sheer finesse of art are achieving great heights through OTT. And Rana is known to really toy with different streams. I know you were doing animation during the COVID period.
Yes,
I did speak to you. We had that interview there, and you said you were into animation. But OTT, Rana, for a big star like you, and when we talk about Southern stars, they have a huge mass following. So much so that a lot of them hesitate in venturing into OTT because they feel their commercial releases or success might take a beating. But for you, it seemed quite seamless. This was the next step, was it?
See, that's how I built my entire career. My career was built on things that others weren't doing or things that others thought were risky to do. It started right from my first film, when I did a film that didn't have songs or action sequences that you normally have in a Telugu film. It continued to me doing films in other languages which was not a precedent before I was in. So I think everything that I did, there was a first time to it, and I think I kind of enjoy that. Like Karan said, it's fun to catch the trend before everybody sees it. And Yeah, like I was talking about Pan India 13 years ago, nobody even understood what I was trying to say, and today everyone is part of that same bandwagon.
Essentially, if you look at it, you've started it.
Yeah, I was just 13 years ago in Bombay trying to say, here you go, you can make a film.
And I know people who recognize you from Bollywood in compared to what your presence was from the South, but you are a superstar in Telugu cinema. Today Telugu is all over. Today Telugu is all over.
Yes, that's really...
How would you appreciate a lot of your co-stars, I mean, those stars from the Telugu industry itself who are achieving great feat?
Well, I think Telugu is a place where we've always been pushing boundaries, whether it's with scale, with story, or the kind of content that we make. And I just feel the narrative of India is now much better than what it used to be, where each of the other states and regions understand one another and are very accepting, and they've kind of found that middle ground of actually being Indians, right?
Very true.
Earlier it was somebody from Delhi and Chennai, there's no connect in terms of what we speak, how we connect, but today there is OTT, there is the web, there is all of that that's kind of transcending well. So I think it's a good time.
You know, on that note, Surveen, for an artist, this is the best time, honestly, to experiment, to go out there, to try different content, because you have so many avenues, as we discussed how OTT is really a game changer, and also because is the audience more accepting? Because you don't see language barriers as much. You don't see issues with, who is acting in it, who's the big star, etc. It's all about one issue, which is the story, which is the script. Do you think that's how right now things are shaping up in the industry, and that's why it's the perfect time and the best time for an artist to experiment?
Absolutely. I think your line of restriction, of course, there is respectfully so censorship, but I feel like that line of limitation is much farther than where it used to be. See, OTT as a platform is for your writers, for your actors, for your directors. You see new age content happening, which unfortunately, because of obviously commercial reasons also, is something that is not probably achievable yet on the 70mm. And I think which is why OTT lays that ground and the opportunity and gives scope for that kind of content coming from those separate kind of areas come along, and I think there's more than enough for everybody on OTT, and you obviously have a parallel content streaming happening other than
this particular series, Rana Naidu Karan, you've been very open in saying that it's a remake of Ray Donovan, but when you actually went about making it, in the process of doing so, how did you ensure that this would be a series that people could relate to? That this is something that people would say that, hey, it can happen in India. So you had to take the story of Ray Donovan and then tweak it, obviously, so Indian audiences would.
I would say way more than tweak. It's really a an adaptation which is transformative in many ways. See, the writing team and we watched it once, and then we were like, okay, we get a sense of it, we have a sense of characters, where they are starting, where they're going, and we liked some of the high points, and then we just put that aside and we started building it from the ground up. What I really find interesting about Rana Naidu is that I feel the original story lends itself to India even better than it does to, say, when it is set in America. There you have a family traveling from Boston to LA, but here, just the cultural change that comes from the south to Bombay is far greater.
That's the beauty of India. So.
Right, and even within Bombay, just the extremities that you're dealing with, whether it's the slums of the Arabi or whether it is, the 100th floor of a high-rise, a penthouse that,
in one word, yes.
So it just, there's so much more to mine there story-wise, and we just made it our own completely.
Very true.
I have a question for Rana, though. I mean, and drawing you back to the kind of success that Southern stars have seen today. Rana, like I said, the mass following that each South star has, it almost borderlines rivalry. Ram Charan has his own following. You have Junior NTR who has his own following. But look at the Bonhomie that we saw. Incredible. And I'd like to hear your take on Ram Charan's success today. We hear you're great friends too.
Well, obviously, I'm as excited, it almost feels like it's mine, whether it's
He's your best friend, your childhood friend.
Yeah, always Charan and I went to school together, yes. No, but I mean, just the fact that entire team of RRR, I know all of them very, very personally, and I just feel they're the most deserving set, and they've done something that is extremely solid. And what's even more beautiful is the fact that it's a song called Natu Natu, which is a Telugu song, which is not even trying to be global. It's a local mass number, which got the Oscars to wake up. I think it's really an amazing time for all of us to be here.
When you saw it, did you think, hey, Bahubali should have won this?
No, man. So I think each one is made of a different time. So I think what Bahubali did is actually got the country together. India was together for the first time as a cinematic nation with Bahubali, and I think RRR has just pushed that boundary to the next edge.
Hey, you know, speaking of Bahubali that you mentioned, you spent so many years to play that role in Bahubali to perfection. And now with OTT, you just said you're seeing yourself in 300 frames and in a shorter time frame. So how is it for you as an actor? How have you really evolved to, to match up to the times now ahead?
Well, see, whether it's 50 years ago or 50 years from now, the job of an actor will remain the same. It's to take life and to recreate it again. So whether I have to recreate a tyrant king for 6 years, whether I have to create a fixer in Bombay, whether it's a commander of a navy ship, doesn't matter. I think that's the beauty of our lives, right? We get to constantly live different characters each time, and what the OTT does is just has that much more depth in each character that you play.
You know, sorry.
Yeah, a quick question to Supan. Supan, you know, as we see the series Rana Naidu itself topping the charts on OTT, I'd really like to ask you, do we really have crisis managers of such kind in Bollywood? I'm not too sure. Give us some inside gossip.
Let me tell you one thing. India has crisis managers.
Yeah. Bollywood, though.
Bollywood is the least of them.
Tollywood?
Compared
Our troubles are the least of the troubles.
Entertainment is the smallest of them all. If you could take things like politics, if you could take things like... You're in Delhi. Are you asking me this question?
Exactly, right.
But we want to know what's happening in Bollywood.
We ask the questions. We ask the questions.
Well, I'm saying look around Delhi and then you will find...
I mean, the halls of power have fixers which need problem solving. In Bollywood, problem solving is I need this actor's dates. Yes, no. I mean,
nothing like a Rana Naidu, huh?
No.
Rana Naidu is one and only.
Thankfully, yet no. And I don't think we'll ever have that stage. It's a very professional industry. You know, we kind of dramatize it just for the sake of having fun, and we are having fun with it. I mean, we are in the industry, but end of the day, you have 300 to 400 people on a daily basis on every set of a show or a film, working 15 hours on a bare minimum. Because a 12-hour shift, you have people coming 3 hours prior. Your spot boys, your lightmen, your caterers start first. Then the rest come. 15 hours, then they go back home. 4 or 5 hours of sleep. 2 channel entertainment. That's the industry we are in. So, yeah, I mean, that's how serious the business is.
Very true, very true. I've run out of time, which is why I'm constantly interrupting. But just a quick word to wrap up from all of you. So many out there have seen Rana Naidu Season 1. What can you expect from Season 2? Supan, starting with you.
Madness, mayhem, and more entertainment.
Yes, I like this. 3 words each. Rana.
Well, so like you said, everyone's seen it. I hope we get enough data from the ones who've seen it and Netflix to make sure we make a greater Season 2. That's it.
Amazing. It had to be 3 words.
Yes, that's
a lot more of me. Sorry, I'm taking one extra one.
And why not? We'd love to see it. I'd like to.
And the award for best answer goes to...
I think that now that everyone's settled in, we're really going to amp things up in the second season.
Okay, put your seatbelts on is the message here. Thank you very much for joining us here at the India Today studio. Congratulations once again to all of you on the success of Rana Naidu. That's all we have time for. Thanks from me and Nabila.
Just chill, Malika.
How about I rename the backseat?
How about Happy Space?
Celebrate Citroen's anniversary with assured benefits. Book now.
Life Insurance Pathshala. Some terms and their meanings. Sum assured. It refers to the amount payable to a nominee after the event of the unfortunate demise of the insured, as specified in the chosen life insurance policy.
ये है शुरुआत तेरी, अब हर जुबान पे होगी बात तेरी। देखिए पहला टाटा वुमेन्स प्रीमियर लीग 4 मार्च से जियो सिनेमा पर बिल्कुल फ्री।
By 2050, the gap will be more than 50% between supply and demand. And that will create a real havoc. It's very important to holistically manage this resource so that the future generation can get the fresh water supply for their existence.
अगर हमने पानी जमीन के भीतर पहुंचाया तो फिर हम शायद आने वाली पीढ़ी को बेहतर कर पाएंगे.
Ion Exchange India presents Drops of Change only on India Today Television.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Penicillin, pen needle.
Dispovan.
Aline, we got it.
Yes.
Dispovan pen needles. Anytime, anywhere.
Had to do so much drama. That's when my loan got approved.
He's just bluffing, huh? He logged into Bob World and got a loan approved in 30 minutes. That too without any drama.
Just upload your documents and get loan approval in 30 minutes. Bank of Baroda Car Loans. Loans without drama.
It's coming for you now. It's coming for you now. No time for rest, 'cause the future is now.
This one's a turbo.
1.5.